Yo, what's good? The real Nordic black family. I know I've been going in a lot today. Um, I'm testing my live streams and everything like that. So, I'm back in business and trying to reach to the people. And the whole reason why I want to get back online and be more active and go more live stream so I can just reach to the people and let people know that I'm still around and still active and for the people that follow me and things like that. I'm more active on my Facebook, but I'm not as active on my YouTube channel. um and I will have many more things to come. I'm going to be live streaming for a while today, so to all that want to come in and say hi or whatever, I'm going to leave a link actually. um some of you guys probably won't even come in and hear this until later in the video. It's all good, it's okay. um If you don't join me live, you can join me another live session. I'm gonna be doing more live streams in the future. Let me leave a link that anybody can come in as a guest at any time, as long as you ain't about that bullshit. I won't cut you off or get kick you out of it. And you guys can also stream this on your own destination as I'm live. Um, Let me put in the invite in the chat. I think the chat should be open. Boom. So anybody can click on the link to join in if they want to. Yeah, today is Eurovision Song Contest or Eurovision. I think in English we'll just call it Euro Song Contest. I think a lot of you guys seen that film with Will Ferrell about Euro Song Contest. Whereas they have a huge. Most of you guys know about it. You heard about it, especially Americans I'm talking to, not Norwegians or Europeans. Of course, you guys know about it, but they're being boycotted. Israel is being boycotted because yes, although Israel lies in the Middle East and the Levant area, they are in the Eurovision contest. I always thought that was weird and strange when I first got here to Norway. But anyhow, they are being boycotted heavily out here. I guess not heavy enough because it seems like they're winning. They're definitely in the lead of some sorts in the contest. I'm not going to be watching it tonight. Um, a lot of people claim they're not going to be watching it tonight. Um, oh man, let me check out my screen. See, this is the whole reason I'm on this bad boy. Let's see. I gotta practice. So there's several reasons why I'm on live stream, because I want to practice um, public speaking. One, and because I haven't been active since the last 8 months. But today, suddenly, I had back-to-back live interviews, which I would love for you guys to go check out. Um, where I'm using StreamYard now. Um, so I had a couple of interviews earlier today. One was the author. I don't want to butcher her name. The Maria Kvilhau. Well, she goes by Lady of the Labyrinth. She has a YouTube channel. Over 19,000, close to 20,000 subscribers. You guys should go check her out. Um, she has several books. All of her links is within the video. I literally streamed about 8 hours ago. Um, and yeah, and had a chat with her that lasted about an hour. Very interesting. Um, she's Norwegian. Yes, she has a heavy accent or whatnot, and the audio seems to not wasn't the best between us. And it was my first time interviewing since 8 months, and I'm using a new stream service, so bear with us and bear with me as I come back and get my feet back on the ground. But check out her interview. Um, when we get into subjects and things um, on the Norse sagas, and particular the not so typical um, people that you normally would hear about in the Viking times. When it comes to these sagas and poems. So she talks a lot about um, she tries to highlight women and also people of color. And she also points out in a lot of people that are in the modern world today, when we look at race, it's a whole different ball game than race was looked at in the past. I have interviewed a guy by the name of Benjamin Isaac, Professor Benjamin Isaac, who actually is a Dutch origin, and white guy, and he lives in Israel, out of all places. Uh, Man, how long ago was that? You have to go on my YouTube channel. That was a while ago. It seemed like it was probably a couple of years ago, if not 3 years ago. I interviewed a guy, and he has a book. If you guys can see it, the invention of racism in classical antiquity, where I interviewed this guy. Um, I got several books about the invention of racism in Middle Ages and also in antiquity, um, where I interviewed this guy, and he talks about how racism isn't looked at as it was, as today, obviously, than it was in the past, um, and things like that. The concept of racism, and so she gets into that. Um, the author Maria Kvilhau, she gets into that um, as we go into the sagas and things. Um, so that's very interesting. And then right after, like literally about an hour afterwards, my man Ola Barnt Tellefsen, the director, co-producer for the Norwegian documentary film, in English is called "The Slave Ship: Norway's Dark Colonial History." Although that was short, it was a phenomenal. It was about 40-minute interview conversation. You got to check out. Go back to that. Click like, subscribe. It was very informative. And so I got all of his links in the description of this film and things like that. Unfortunately, it's not in English, so you would have to check out the you would have to, yeah. I mean, you can just check out the images or the video and see if somehow, some way you can get some of the words translated. Actually, I think that it's still running on it's still running on the Norwegian, their main uh, channel here in Norway called NRK, and it's still running on there. But you guys probably can't get into it because you need a VPN or some sort because you live outside of the country of Norway. So, um, yeah, get a VPN, go to the links, and see if you can check out this film. Unfortunately, it's not in English, or nor does it have English subtitles, so you can't check out the film. You know, I was inspired by listening to the guy Tariq Nasheed. I know you guys heard of Tariq Nasheed, especially my Black Americans, my foundational Black American listeners, um, who's created a whole bunch of films, documentary films, and he has all kinds of things going on. He has a hidden history museum. In fact, he has another film talking about called titled Microphone Check, which is about to come out in the future, near future, right around the corner. In fact, I forget what date it's about to release. Where he talks about hip hop is a Black, foundational Black American created uh, music, And yeah, we had contributions. You know, they talk about they had contributions from Puerto Ricans when it comes to dance. Now it's not even, you don't hardly see even Puerto Ricans dancing these days. You'll see the whole, it's like an Asian wave. They pretty much control the hip hop dance. But it wasn't like that before in the beginnings, in the origin of it. And so he created a film, whereas he gets into it, a documentary film that's going to come out called Microphone Check. So anyway, my whole point is, I say that to say that I was listening to his, because he's quite hilarious. He's like a comedian, um, very witty and things, and he goes live all the time. And he, I heard a conversation, and it was a white guy. I take suspected white supremacist. I think he actually calls himself a white supremacist. Um, on the I think he actually calls himself a white supremacist on the show. And no, I'm just checking some stuff out. Yo, what up, Benjamin Vidmar? Big up yourself, man. You can click on the link, Benjamin, to come in if you want to join in the conversation. If not, you can just tune in, listen in, or just, I appreciate you giving me a shout. Um, yeah. So anybody can click on the link that I left there for StreamYard, and you'll come in the studio, and then I'll let you in the conversation. You'll pop up on the screen. So there's a whole purpose is into reaching out to whoever follows. Let me say. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now I can see my comments. Man. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let me get off this. See, I'm learning. I am learning. That's the whole reason why I am going live, so I can practice not only public speaking. Hold on, let me see. What is this? 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 Yeah, I'm actually practicing on this live stream because I need to reach to the people. You're not gonna grow your channel if you're not active, and I'm trying to get active. It just happened suddenly. Huh? I had a back-to-back interview with Oh, what am I doing? We're gonna get into it tonight, though. Tonight is the Eurovision contest. I believe it's tonight. Um, or yeah, the European Song Contest, which is not, neighboring country in Sweden, in Malmo. I'm gonna be butchering the names, and that's like right across the water from Copenhagen. I don't know, maybe not the water, but let me not tell it lie, but it's not right around the corner from Copenhagen, Denmark. So everything in Scandinavia is pretty much close. We border. I'm in Norway. To all that, you know, for all that don't know, although I'm African American, I'm living in Oslo, Norway. Been in Norway since 2012. Anyway, it's funny because of the fact that we have the Palestine and Israel conflict going on, and so you have a lot of boycotts going on, and large boycotts are going on in Malmo right now, right outside where they're having the Eurovision European Song Contest. But I find it interesting that although they have, it kind of remind me of I hate to say it, the election with Donald Trump. You had all these people claiming this and claiming that they were against this and that, but yet you find out that about 40% of women had voted for Donald Trump and all these other people, all even though they doubted him. So you have the fact of the matter is that Israel is still in the contest, and they're thriving and getting votes. And I don't know what their position is, but they seem like they're doing pretty good. If anybody else knows more, you can drop in the chat and I'll read it off. Um, but yeah, let me see. I'm just trying to check out something real quick before we start to get into it. I'm gonna share my screen on because I'm gonna talk about some subjects that's going on around the world, and then particularly, especially in the U.S. But this one, the Palestinian-Israel conflict, you just can't get around it, and especially living out here in Scandinavia, you definitely can't, because they have, like I said, they have the Eurovision contest going on, and a whole bunch of boycotting and protests are going on. I hope without, that they actually will be able to do something about it, make some sort of change. Because right now it seems kind of grim. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of protesting and things like that, but yet I still see. I'm looking on the news sites, and Israel is still winning. You know, I that I can't fathom. Maybe somebody can chime in, and explain this to me. Somebody Norwegian that's overhearing this, and they can explain what's going on. But I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I hope all these protests aren't just like white noise, and they're able to do something. Man, I am trying to get in here before we get into some of the other subjects that I would like to talk about. I'm trying to bear with the brother. I'm gonna be streaming for a while. Also, that's another reason I like to. Good evening. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing awesome too. Let me see if I can. Hold up. Can I? Oh, hold up. There we go. I am tripping. Benjamin Vidmar is in the building, if he still is. Hello to you. I'm glad that you stopped by, my brother. Always, always much love and respect. Let me see before I mess this thing up. That's why I need. That's why I'm going live, to have more practice in not only public speaking, but also this new streaming service I'm doing. Oh man, I see a couple other people. Let me see. Let me see. Much love and respect. We got Tavogue Film Telia. Good often. Good evening. I hope you are doing well. I hope you are doing well as well. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for coming. You guys don't forget to like this. Um, and obviously you probably subscribed already. And actually I enabled this video so whenever I stream, you guys can stream it somewhere you know, if you ain't got nothing else going on. I appreciate you, Tavogue Film. I appreciate you. Um, yeah, it's gonna be a slow night. I am older. I'm about 46, about to be 47. So I'm on Facebook and YouTube, mainly the long form of communication, like a lot of old folks. Um, but I like it that way. James Watkins in the building, out of Baltimore. If I get that correctly, I believe it's my man from. We have a lot of interactions on Facebook. I'll be stealing some of his memes too. He know that. That's what's up. And yeah. I hope you're doing well. Um, out there and be more. Most definitely. I appreciate you, James. Now, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Be more in the building. And I know you had some. I forgot who you had. You had somebody in the community, my brother. I forgot who you had. Um, as a guest, was it James Smalls or something like that? I was wondering how you man, you can click on the link, James. Click on the StreamYard link and come in for a little bit. You see it at the top, right? Click on the link. It was James Smalls, no doubt. That I dropped the link in there. So anybody can come in, it'll, and click on the link and you can chime in and we can talk. for a little bit. Let me see. Uh, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. James, come in the click, go up to the top of the thing and click in the link and click in the StreamYard link, bro. I'd like you to come in because I would like to talk to you about that experience you had. That would be cool. Unless you're busy, then it's all good. It's all good. We'll just continue. Let me know. Let me know. There we go.
What's happening, bro?
Hey, we live and direct. What's up, man?
What's
What's good
happening?
with
What's happening?
it? Looking all fly and your beard all manicured and everything.
Make council one. Hold on, make council one.
Okay. We're not echoing, are we?
Now we should be good. Now, no echo. Now.
No doubt, no doubt. I'm gonna let you have the stage. I'm gonna let you have the stage, my man. What's
Oh
good?
man, look! It's just a
You
pleasure,
wasn't
a
ready.
pleasure and an honor to be in your presence, my guy.
Oh no, no, no. You the one who got you have the big timers, man. James Smalls and all that over
I
there.
was just fortunate to be somewhere where he was going to be. So one of the guys here in Baltimore, Jabari Netta, he links up. His mother and James Smalls, they were friends. His mom is deceased now, but they were friends.
Mm.
So
Right, right, right.
he's the true plug for that.
Okay, that's what's up. And
Yeah.
it's funny out here in Norway,
They
they love the series the Wire. Everybody loves the
For the
Wire.
wire.
Yeah, yeah. Even the
Yeah,
ones that
yeah,
you think
yeah.
even the ones that you think don't talk to any black people, don't want nothing to do with black folks. I'm telling you. My ex wife, in fact, you know what I'm saying? The father, he, yeah, and he had his ways or whatever, and he was like, "Yo, I want to show you something." He had his old box series of DVDs of The Wire and stuff like that, and so that's how they definitely will connect with your city, Baltimore or whatever. So you're a Baltimorean. I don't know what they call the
Yeah, Baltimorean. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
actually getting ready to relocate though for work, but it's all good.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you've been part of the whole you damn, you look younger than me, but you probably about my age though.
I'm a couple years older than you. I'll be 49 this year.
Ah, that's what's up. He know my age. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You've been paying attention. Wow, man. Black don't crack. That's for real, man.
black don't crack, man. I had my people at work was they thought I was in my young 30s. They wasn't gonna
Right.
give me a promotion. He thought I was too young for it, and
Wow.
I had to hit him upside the head, show him my ID.
Sometimes you gotta do that. Yo, I'll be out here working with a lot of bunch of younger people, you know what I'm saying? It's like I be trying to explain to people, you gotta be humble. I was like, I'm older than you gotta be a humble person to work for certain people. And then sometimes in some cases you got people that are in a manager positions or whatever that are younger than you know what I'm saying? And so
Yeah,
you have to be you gotta be a humble person to work with people that are sometimes even half the age as you know what I'm saying? So that's crazy. No, but how long you been I want to say that in what they call the conscious, you know, so-called conscious community or whatever. How long you been kind of following that stuff or whatever? Probably forever.
um, no, I mean, as far as like in a public, maybe around 2015, 16. I think I
Okay.
began questioning a whole lot and just doing my own research around 2015.
Right,
I hear
right.
you. And 1 second.
Yeah, no problem.
So
And you know
around
and you don't have to stay live for forever. I'm just happy
no,
that
it's
you
cool.
came in. Whenever you
I've
go,
always wanted.
whenever you go, whenever and I ain't mean to cut you off. But whenever you go. Whenever you come through, you come through. I think I'm gonna start going live a bit more to try to see if I can grow my channel a bit because
Oh yeah, yeah,
I've
man.
been very spotty, man. I've been like I do things and then I just stop all of a sudden because of life and things like that. I said, you know what? I'm gonna try to see if I can go live and be like some of these fools, some of these clowns that I know. If I mention, you would know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um,
No
and
reason, no need to say names.
right, right, right.
Yeah.
I see some of these clowns, going live or whatever, but they starting to slow it down because they realize it's not as easy as they thought. Um, and in other reasons, there's one in particular that I just ran across. I told you about the little viral video when I was on Sarnetta, that little video.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this one guy that I was talking about actually. He now his little camp they going away from him right now.
Wow.
I,
That's what happens, man.
yep,
I never
Sarnetta
wanted to
just
get too big,
yep yep,
I never really want to go into the spotlight like that because some people
bruh.
can't manage it, and then you have people who have good intentions that get used, and things go wrong because of the people that's in that circle.
It was a guy. I'll say a little bit. It was a guy, young Heru, who I never even knew because I was going after this one who I was cursing out. Where that video Sarnetta took that clip because he's against that whole camp, and so he took that clip and he was like using that, which I'd never even knew because I was just going for this one guy that lives out in Scandinavia. You know what I'm saying? And then I didn't know that he was a part with Young Heru and then this other guy. But
Uh-huh.
I just saw some recently. I just looked on Sunday. I'm like, something just came to me and said, let me see what's going on there. And he's talking about how Young Heru is leaving this dude that I had a little friction with, talking about, yeah. So they got something going on, obviously. So I wasn't.
Yeah.
There was a
See,
reason
that's
why
the whole thing, man.
I wasn't messing with the dude. Yeah,
Right. I don't even want to be a part of
me either.
that
Me
life.
either.
I just want to do my thing. I know
That's
what I
it.
need to know and help other people out. And sometimes I be in the background just saying different things and be surprised at how many people pick up on it. And next thing you know,
Right.
they on TV talking about it or on YouTube talking about it, right? And I'm like, oh, okay,
Wow. No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Well, I can tell you, I'm giving you credit because sometimes, like the book yesterday you put, I was like, hold up, man, I forgot about that book. And then
oh yeah, yeah,
I posted it and stuff like that. I'll tell you that. Sometimes I steal his memes, and
yeah.
sometimes stuff that he posts about, he gives me ideas and stuff
So
when I'm like, yo,
that's
what am
that's
I
what it's
gonna
all
post
about.
today? And so I'm like, yo, he inspired me. So yeah, a few times you done that. So I'll tell you
Yeah,
that straight up.
that's what it's all about. It's like me and my
Yeah,
wife was having a conversation. Like your friends supposed to inspire you from all parts of life.
r-
Everybody ain't supposed to be the same, but you're supposed to be able to take something good from each person and make
right,
yourself better.
right. No doubt, man. No
Yeah,
doubt. No, and I always see you post your beautiful family and things like that, man. And so I was always wanting to get you in on here. But yeah, no, yeah, they got this boycotting thing going on, like big time out here. They got this European Song Contest. I don't know if you heard of that. You probably
nah,
Will Ferrell made a movie about it or whatever, called European Song Contest. But out here in Europe, they have a thing every year called, they call it Eurovision or European Song Contest, where a lot of the nations have like they make a song. They just basically come and have a, it's like a shit. I don't know, like The Voice. It seemed like they it's bigger than that, but they have their own, they'll battle and have different songs, and the songwriter, I think they said, I just learned this is more about the songwriter than the person singing the song, but although the singers get the most fame, but uh they have like their own, they call it the Grand Prix or something like that. So in every nation they have a contest of who's the, which song is the best and who can represent this country to join the European Song Contest. And then all these people, come for this European Song Contest, and then yeah, the people that won it the year before or something like that, they get to host, that country gets to host that the thing. But anyway, the key is, or my whole point about it was, they have this Palestinian Israel, these boycotts going on, and they've been having all these protests and shit like that. Obviously, in America, they have all those protests, universities and everywhere as well. But it's funny how they now, Israel over here, they were trying to boycott Israel from even being in the contest. Not only they in the contest, they winning right now.
wow,
Israel, Israel.
wow,
Well, that was one surprising thing, because when I first came here, I was like, hold up. I was like, I saw Israel. because I got here to Norway in 2012, and I remember the first time I seen the Eurovision contest, and I'm like, yo, what is this shit about? And he's like, oh, you don't know, and so I learned about it, but then I remember seeing Israel as one of the contestants or whatever. I was like, what the hell is it? Oh, I'm not so surprised. They're very European influenced and things like that. Most of them on there is white Ashkenazi looking
Yeah.
like anyway. But anyhow, yeah, they're not only they were supposedly boycotting them, almost at like people, posting about the boycotts and things as if they're really doing something. Now it shows. I mean, they're in the contest now and they're winning, and so it's like you had to have people voting on it. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, what's really going on? It kind of reminded me of the Donald Trump thing, like I mentioned. A lot of people was like talking all this stuff about Donald Trump and things, but then you find out when the votes came that so many people, when it came, the rubber hit the road, they were actually never voted for the dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then when I read this one article not too long ago about 40 something percent of women actually voted for him. You know,
Yeah.
and
Although he talked
not
about
surprised.
grabbing them from by the crotch.
Right, 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 right. And so I wasn't surprised on this right now, but now they're like now it's all in the national news here, and Sweden is right next door, so they're hosting this whole European song contest for all the European nations that are into this. They're there in Malmo, the neighboring country, and so there's all kinds of protests and shit going on. But my thing is just like, anyway, what's your take on the conflict, man?
I'm uh I'm not for Israel, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt, no
Nah,
doubt, no doubt, no doubt,
nah,
no doubt.
nah, they doing some wild things, and
Yeah,
nah. Be surprised, I know you served in the military,
yeah, the Air Force. Yep,
all
yep,
the things we did, and not having no idea. We didn't have a conscience, we wasn't aware of all the things what we was really doing. We just went out there, got our orders and followed our instructions, and that's it.
right,
But
right,
now I see things different, and I'm not for it.
right, right, right,
Um, there's no way I can support a nation, with the
right.
many atrocities they doing. I see some of these babies, man. Like this is crazy.
It's madness, right? Right.
Yeah.
Yo, earlier today I had went live, as you probably noticed and seen. And the reason why I did because I went on Tariq Nasheed, as you probably overheard me. I went on Tariq Nasheed's one of his streams and shit, like probably a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And there was sometimes he gets a lot of surprisingly, he gets a lot of white folks, a lot of white supremacists calling him uh, while he's live or whatever, and they tend to like him because he's straightforward. But there was a guy proclaimed, man. I've been in Norway too long, man. I'm self-proclaimed white supremacist. He called in and he was talking about how when everybody was talking about reparations and slavery and shit like
Yeah.
that, he was talking about, yo, I got Norwegian origin, and I was like, when he said that, that's when I tuned in because I was like, one of them white boys. Let's see if he really from, because he would get the show. I was wishing that I was on his, because I think people go to his Instagram in order to where he actually goes live, although he streams it from on YouTube. So
Uh,
I'm not part of his like Twitter or Instagram or whatever to get into that. So I wanted to jump in there so bad because the guy is so either misinformed or he's trying to manipulate the people knowing the truth, or the white boy doesn't know. And I'm like, I'm over here in Norway and Europe, and when I hear any white boy on there talking about anything when it comes to Africans or slavery, bruh, I'll shut him down real
yeah.
quick. I'll shut him down real quick. And he went on there because there was other guys that were just more blunt with it. They were talking about slavery and no reparations and why we shouldn't get reparations or whatever. But then suddenly, like I said, this one guy that thought he was all witty sounding and articulate and all these things, and he was talking about his Norwegian descent, talking about, yeah, we didn't have none of that chattel slavery that the others had. And I was like, and Tariq didn't really kind of jump on it. You know what I mean? And nobody really jumped on him. They just kind of
Yeah,
they don't really kind of know the specifics or the facts on that, so they just kind of left him alone. But I wasn't gonna let that slide in a way. I wish I would have
yeah,
been able to come in and call because I wanted to tell the dude, use a mother, use a motherfucking liar. Not only is you that there was slavery here, there's so many things, and I'm friends with the dude that made the famous documentary film out here about chattel slavery, putting
wow,
The Norwegian and Denmark Danish contribution, and that's who I said, you know what? I knew him for a while. He followed me on Facebook for a long time. I was like, I need to put him on my shit. Why didn't I do that? You know what
right.
I'm saying? So he is one that I got on my one of the people that I interviewed today, and I'm gonna leave his stream when you go on my YouTube page on the home. I'm gonna leave his shit streaming for a minute so people can see. And he's the director. He's a cool cat too, man. Cool cat. Very natural conversation. It was about a 40-minute um interview. He's just straightforward dude. And yeah, so he's a director and co-producer of this film called Slave. And in English it was in Norwegian, but it's called The Slave Ship, Norway's Dark Colonial History.
Yeah,
And so his name is like Ola Tellefsen. And so he's on my live stream. I mean, yeah, my live interview now. So I had to put him on there just to document and show that. But you know, he broke that thing down, man, because I remember I used to talk about and I used to dog out documentary films. Let me see where I can see you. Where we at? Oh, did I cut you out? Damn, I might have cut you out by accident, James.
did that by mistake. I did
Oh,
that by
okay.
mistake.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought I cut you out, but that's a whole nother reason why I'm going live stream, getting used to the stream yard or whatever, because I don't be, I don't like going live all the time. I'm kind of an introvert, man. Real talk, man.
same here,
Yeah,
same
yeah, yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah. I kind of noticed some, so that's where we kind of connected on some of those things. So I'm kind of slow when
Yeah.
it comes to it. In the chat here's my man Benjamin. I'm gonna show you. Look on the screen. Benjamin
Oh,
Vidmar.
okay. Peace,
He's
Benjamin.
Yeah, he's from Cleveland. He out here too in Norway. He's been out here for
Wow.
a minute. He was my first person that I interviewed on my YouTube channel, Benjamin Vidmar, and he's a I never even heard of it, permaculturist, permaculture,
Never
whatever they
heard of it.
exactly right. And he broke that thing down to me, and it's basically people growing food. You know what I'm saying? Like they're I can't even call it now, but it's
Like a
basically
farmer.
yeah, basically yeah.
Okay.
He's and they use like certain. Man, I'll let Benjamin break it down. Benjamin, if you still listening, man, get your ass in here, man. Click on the link.
What is like a co-op?
Um, that it's something like that too, but not exactly. Let me see. I'm gonna look. Permaculture, man. He but what he did was he was in this area. He used to be in this area called Svalbard. That's where like the really up north in Norway. I live in the south close to Oslo, so we still get that warm weather or whatever. But up there in Svalbard, it's like polar bears and shit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like so much ice and stuff on the ground. Like they have certain rules and laws. Like they don't even bury the dead. They don't bury the dead over there
What?
because of the ice and the like. It's something that I forgot what it has to do with, but it's kind of like in New Orleans they can't you can't have they
They
don't
below sea level.
right. So they have something like that in Svalbard because of the ice and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
and
Gotcha.
and I forgot the reason why, but so he basically he was really up there, you know what I'm saying? And what was crazy about it was had he was doing this permaculture thing. Permaculture, let's say an agricultural system or method that seeks to integrate human activity with natural surroundings so as to create highly efficient self-sustaining ecosystems. It's like it has an approach to land management and settlement design that adopts arrangement observed in flourishing natural ecosystems. The design principles using whole system thinking, things like that. Yeah, but anyway, he used to sell herbs and stuff to some of these restaurants. You know what I mean? They used to go to him, to Benjamin Vidmar, and if you ever click on his name on YouTube, he has some interviews. You know what I mean?
Uh,
That you can just listen to the brother. Um, yeah, so you can see it right there. But anyway, I saw him. I was like, yo, what is this dude? This brother, way hold. I was happy to hear of another African American. You know what I'm saying, in Norway, and then I was like, what is this dude doing way the hell out there and up there in Svalbard, where the polar bears and shit like that, and so I definitely had to reach out
they
to
don't
home.
belong up there.
Nah, but he mad cool though. Mad cool. He's
Yeah,
one. You know, what's so crazy is sometimes the people that you think are obvious, we're like, yo, it seemed like it's a match. This person doing this and doing that. It seemed like it would be a match, and sometimes it doesn't always happen that way because
yeah,
somebody's ego or just something is off. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
he's one of the brothers that is always been pretty consistent as yourself, you know. Me and you
Thank
online
you.
and things like that through Facebook or whatnot, but in him, since I've been here, and the crazy thing is we never even met in person because
Okay.
it's see, Norway's long. They say that Norway is from, if you were to the top of Norway, like where I'm at, and also on the south of it or whatever, it would reach down into, I think, what they say, Italy or something like that. It's pretty. It's a long. It's
Is
not
that
as
long? Wow.
yeah. It's not as wide, but it's very long. And then it borders Sweden, even Russia, just a little part way up top. And then
Mm.
damn, does it border Finland? I forget, but I know it definitely borders Sweden. And then I think all three possibly, but
So
way up.
you being over there in Norway, you deal with the same stuff that we deal with here in America for the most part. The
Yeah, for sure.
racism, the prejudice.
For sure, man. Bro. This ain't new to this, man. I was in Oklahoma, man. That's why I always post a lot about Oklahoma because I
Right.
was I was born in Fort Sill, the Army base, Fort Sill,
Yeah.
Oklahoma. My mother was born in Fort Sill. My grandfather, he retired there from the Army. He's from New Orleans.
Okay.
Yeah. So um, don't know if you ever caught wind of me posting a video about my grandfather, which a couple years ago, the city of Lawton, Oklahoma, which where they have the military base Fort Sill in Lawton,
Hmm.
Oklahoma. That's southern Oklahoma. That's not too far from the Texas border. Uh, they recognized him. Actually, they were they just put up a YouTube channel, the city of Lawton, Oklahoma. I don't know when they started a YouTube channel. It seemed like only a couple years ago, but they only recognized one black person for a Black History Month, and it was my grandfather. And so that tells you
Oh.
something. So people started to recognize, oh, that shit makes sense now. I was like, no shit. I've been on this shit since because of him. He's one of my
Right.
inspirations for sure, and my family for sure. So no, my mother's side of the family, all New Orleans. Her mother and father, and he was in the army, and retired there. And when he retired, while he was in the military, he was also training people how to fly airplanes. And he was the only
Okay.
black. He was like the first black flight instructor out there. And he was enlisted, but
That's a good accomplishment right there.
right. He even trained a lot of officers when white officers when he was there. And then he had when he got out, he was like a radio guy, like the radio signaler or whatever. And so when he got out, he used his skills or whatever and he had a electronic and TV sales and service. Matthews TV sales and service. His last name Matthews. Matthews TV sales and
Okay.
service. And that business was lasted for over 30 something years. And it was the first black businessman in the town, and all these things like that. And then he was end up the first black man in the city council. And then he even took over from mayor for a little short period, and a whole bunch of shit. And even at 90s, he was teaching my cousins, how to fly how to fly airplanes because he has a flight simulator machine in his living room. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
no, real talk. He's one of them people. Like if you went over there, he would and you gave interest in aviation and flying, he would convince you to start to learn how to fly airplanes. He was one that made
Wow.
sure that every person, that was able to listen or whatever, he wanted to teach them how to fly for real. And that's
I did want to know how to fly when I was a teenager.
man, I'm telling you, he would
The
have been
SR,
right, right. He would
yeah,
have
the
been
SR-71 was one of my favorite airplanes.
wow, wow. That's what's up, man. No, he would have been
Yeah.
the perfect person for me. I was just a knucklehead. I was a knucklehead, and I wanted to play. He was like he had the Apple Macintosh computers, and he's had a flight simulator, not games, but flight simulator things at home. And while everybody was playing Atari 2600 and all these other things, where they had joysticks and shit, he used to be like, "Man, what are you doing? That's come over here and do this flight simulator." And you just sit there on the computer. You barely hit a button, and the rudder goes. He was
Wow.
while all the other kids were playing like video games, and I just thought it was boring at the time. And in retrospect, I wish I would have been able to focus and do all those things. My whole life probably would have been different. But yeah, no, he's my uncle. In fact, his youngest son lives in Nashville, Tennessee. He of course he taught him how to fly, and then he ended up building helicopters and flying helicopters now and all kinds of stuff, man. So the flight thing been. In fact, my mother, you know, may she rest. And she even yeah she even the man I ain't gonna mention this dude. This guy that was married to my mom. Anyway, he even tried to teach his dumb ass to fly. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But anyway, so he was really inspiration for me. He was the main one while I got into my atheism and stuff. He was the one who told me to check out the sources and everything for myself.
Right.
He's a diehard Catholic, but he speaking of that, man, I had got this book about Catholics or whatever that just came in. Very interesting. Let me grab this on the shelf. Hold up.
All right.
Definitely, that's why I like live. You never know where it's gonna go. I didn't expect to see you in here today.
Now, I just pulled my YouTube up and I said, "Oh my
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
live. Let me see what's
yeah.
going on in here."
Right, right, right. No, I got this book right here called. Let me see if I can start moving. Clear. It's real small. You can't read the top. I know you can see the
I
the
see the
two,
272.
but you can't read the top. No.
Nah.
Okay, it ain't that clear. No, it's well, that's small. The bottom of it has a picture of this. You see the black family right there. But anyway, it's called the 272, the families who were enslaved and sold to build the American Catholic Church.
Wow.
So this bad boy is new. Is published this year. Very interesting. So like I said, it has a lot to do with what is now Georgetown University. So
Okay.
us black folks had a lot to do with that, and
Yeah.
the funds that prop that up right there, and the American Catholic Church in general. Period. We had a lot to do with that.
Heck,
So so this right here, the lady breaks it down. So we everywhere, man. We everywhere. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. I need to check that book out.
For
I need to
sure.
add that book to my library.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. But yeah, and speaking of the book, I have it on the side because I interviewed the dude earlier. I told you, that that's the slave ship that was found off the coast of this area.
Trying to see what it
Yeah, the slave
the slave ship.
ship,
What's that?
Fredensborg. Fredensborg. Yeah,
Fredensburg. Okay.
yeah. So that's the guy. That's the guy that I interviewed. He made the documentary film, and that's the slave ship that they found off the coast of Norway, Arendal area, and it was very, very important because how intact it was. So it was
Oh,
because like the guy was telling me, it was found in like shallow water, kind of shallow water, and so a lot of the documents, especially were meticulous. They were meticulous in their. In fact, from what I heard was, although they had other bigger European nations like the UK, the Dutch,
Mm-hmm.
um, Portugal, Spain, things like that. When this ship was found, um, although, like I said, Norway and Denmark was definitely a part of it because they had colonies in the U.S. Virgin Islands like Saint Croix, Saint
Uh-huh.
Thomas. That's where you'll find mainly. Sweden had Saint Bart, Saint Bart. They colonized that island. But anyway, um, they although they weren't as big as the UK and the Dutch, they did have a big part of the transatlantic slave trade. But what was so important about this was because the ship was so intact, they were able to figure out even more so than the other findings that they had with the other bigger countries or whatever of how they did their daily thing. You know what I mean? When it comes to the slave ships and things like that, because these records
Mm-hmm.
were very much intact, so they were able to kind of
So
see,
they were able to recover. They were able to recover records from the ship.
yeah, everything, bro. Bro,
Wow.
almost damn near everything. It was a diver. Yep, who's dead now. It was a diver. In fact, because they targeted, especially the Norwegians and Danish, they targeted uh in particular, specifically in Ghana, and so they already
Mm.
even paid. They even paid some sort of, not enough, but some sort of reparations already. This country, people don't know that Norway, to some Ghanaians, and they have exhibitions in Ghana in some of these villages in Ghana that they about the fort there and stuff like that. So this book it has all kinds of, yeah, very meticulous records and things like that on how they, when a slave died, this and that and all kinds of shit, man. They have some stories in here that can be movies, man, because everybody was a part of the slave trade. So, and it showed you like people that they call pilots. They had people that went out to the water to just, kind of like when they go out when the airplane comes and shit, and you got to guide the airplane to the parking spot. They had those for
Yeah.
ships too.
A Marshall.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
so
Marshall airplane. Yeah.
right, and so they call pilots where they guide the ships to come ashore safely or whatever. And there's a story in the book where there's one guy how it was kind of stormy or whatever, and so the lighthouses, that's why they have the lighthouses and shit as well, and so they're able to see the ships coming in, and so the guy went out there, and basically they kind of blame this dude on the shipwreck and shit, you know, and they put his ass in, because they said he was drunk or something like that, and where the way he piloted the ship or whatever, it hit some rocks and then it kind of broke. And then because of the holding company, because most of these, see, I know the details in this, and I learned a lot about the slave trade, and how they did shit because of this
Yeah.
shit right here. And so it's very important. And so the dude broke it down though in this documentary film, and he dispelled the rumor about women out the gate. It was crazy because it was a perfect storm. Because when I first came to Norway, I was watching a lot of documentary films, and they like put you to sleep real slow. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And this guy, he came out of no. It was during the post George Floyd, right around that time, same time George Floyd. They came out with this new documentary film, and it came on the AnnCoulter channel in Norway, and I was like, yo, this shit right here. I was like, this is giving real information like from the book, like for real. This is like, and I was like, wow. I was like, I, I was like, yo, this shit is interesting. I was like, yo, this guy is bold. Whoever's doing this, and I had no clue it was the dude that was on my Facebook that
Mm.
did it. That's how humble he is. I had no clue, and it's funny because I remember the guy because he used to comment on some of my posts and shit. I was like, and I recalled the thumbnail of his picture or whatever, and I'm like, yo, and it didn't dawn on me until one day on his Facebook wall popped up, and it showed him, and then yeah, with the flyer or some shit, and I was like, oh, he checked it out too, cool, and I said, hold up, And I saw his name. I was like, yo, he's the motherfucker that made the film. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yo, that shit was crazy, man. So I was like, and that was the only one I've been documentary film that I really enjoyed watching out here. And it happened to be the same dude that commented on my shit. And so, I called him up, and man, you can go and watch that little interview how he is, man. He ain't scared to. He's like a maverick, and they needed a maverick to tell the story, as he said. There were some people waiting on, especially out here, because the Norwegians and white people in general, they don't want to hear the dark stories. You know what I'm saying? They don't
Yeah,
want they don't want to hear the truth.
they don't
And
want to
so,
face that real reality.
right, right, and
Yeah,
so
mm,
and so and so he had a little flack, but not as much flack as he thought. He said he was surprised that he wasn't given more flack, but he believed it was because of the George Floyd thing that was going on at the time. When everybody wanted to be woke and all that stuff. So it was like the perfect storm when it came out, because it was during that George Floyd time. So nobody gave him flack or whatever. But at the same time, they said they were quiet. They didn't give him praise
yeah,
either. So they was like, but I liked his approach because he didn't embellish on shit. His shit was like bam bam facts, and he said he wasn't worried because he had the data and the facts, and it's a fact. When I seen it, it was like strictly. I was like, damn. And then I remember, and he was dispelling all that shit too. Because I remember I used to go in like Facebook circles or whatever, and with some Norwegians too, some Scandinavians, and they used to, you know, not really get into it when it come to the slave trade. They always blamed it on Denmark or this, and that, and you didn't hardly, the women with all this patriarchy talk. You know what I'm saying? The men.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
so this dude came in here, was not playing around. He was like, bam, and he showed that that like the first original people of this holding company, like one of them was a woman. At least one of them was a woman, and he showed, what I'm saying, that she was trying to get, funds to start to invest in getting slavery and shit like that. And so she was in the boardroom with the original people out here. You know what I'm saying? So all that shit's a farce, man. They were in there too.
yeah.
That's a fact. So he broke that shit down, and other things too. But anyway, I'll be running my mouth, man. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
all good. I'm about to jump off of here,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
I like to do it again if you
Yeah,
make it
yeah, yeah, for
available
sure.
to me.
Yeah, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure, for sure, for sure.
yeah. I want to get a little more familiar with the whole streaming things. I have other stuff I work on, like my music stuff. My DJ and
Oh,
everything. So
okay. Yeah, yeah, okay.
yeah,
The DJ thing. That's right. That's right. I remember that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And
I'm
what's the genres that you name that you mainly
R&B and hip hop mostly.
no doubt, no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, that's where I indulge the most.
Right, right.
But I like doing my own thing with it. So we have what we call blend DJs, where you take an instrumental and you mash it up against a acapella. So you
Mm.
so you make something totally different. So let's say I got right now I'm working on an R. Kelly and Chris Brown blend.
Okay. All right. All right. Yo, I saw a YouTube channel. There was a guy that did some stuff like that. I forgot the name of the
Well,
name of
my
the.
one of my friends named DJ Storm. You can look him up on YouTube, and
It might
he
be
he he pretty
DJ.
good.
Okay, okay. Yo, I like that. I like that. Yeah, I like that. Nowadays, the latest trend that I've been noticing was that the AI. The AI is
Yeah,
going crazy. The AI is going crazy.
yeah,
And they making some of these, even these from the rap beef. You know what I'm saying? Some of these songs into
right,
Motown songs and shit. You know what I mean?
yeah. I seen the dude Crank Lucas. He just put something out, and they had Kendrick Lamar's voice and
Yeah.
and Drake's voice. I'm like, what the hell? Like this ain't real.
Right.
Like,
Right.
man, but I'm gonna get
Man.
off of here.
All
I'll
right. All right.
I'll chop it
Peace.
up with you later.
For
All
sure.
right,
For
peace.
sure. All right. Peace, my brother. Yeah. There we go. My man, 50 grand. That's what I like to see. Damn, I'm already an hour in. I've been flapping my jaws. But anyway, we're going to continue with it. Yeah, James Watkins, man. And I'm sure I will get him back in here another time. He DJs and things like that. and he be dropping all kinds of wisdom and things like that. So we follow each other on Facebook. Out of Baltimore, yes sir. We're gonna continue with it. And anybody else that want to chime in, you can always, you can click on the link, um, and we can chop it up. Come say hi. At least you don't have to come in live. You can just leave a comment, click like. Don't forget to subscribe, share this. I'm gonna go live stream more often. Not every day, but maybe, man, I don't know if I want to commit to the live stream schedule. I guess I should. That's how you're supposed to build followers more and more. Um, because there's a lot of things going on in the world. And not only that, on the social media, the YouTube world, the real world, and I would like to give my take on things. And sometimes in some of these things that um yeah, we'll leave it at that. Anyway, what I was gonna do before I ran into my boy James was I'm gonna practice on sharing screen. Let me see. Do, 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 do. I'm looking on the news right now with this Eurovision thing. So I just really wonder how it's gonna play out. If anybody else is like an expert or as really pervy to that can come in and chime in. Let me see. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh man, I need to take, but I want to try to share my screen because I want to talk about some other things. I can't believe I couldn't explain permaculture. Don't hate me, Benji, Benji B. All right, let me see. And anybody that has like a platform. Well, hold up. Why is this okay? Why I only see Benjamin? I see your I go to my YouTube channel and I see your comment on there still, my brother. Or maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, come say hi. Go up to the link. Must I drop the link again? Let's see. Boom. Anybody can come and click on the link and chime in and join in if you dare. You don't have to. I appreciate the what you guys do. Now I'm gonna share my screen because in the book earlier that I showed James was about the Catholics called the 272, the families who were enslaved and sold to build the American Catholic Church by Rachel L. Swarns. And I'm hoping to interview this person at some point. Anyway, I'm giving you guys game. You know what I mean? Nice research when it comes to the Catholic Church and things like that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's just one of them. One of the many. Um, man, I'm gonna go on my Facebook because I post so much on Facebook. I know some of you that follow me on Facebook are so tired of me. Um, but I would like to talk about some of these issues that are going on in the world today, like Darfur. Meanwhile, all that's going on in Darfur, the armed groups are likely committing ethnic cleansings and atrocities in Darfur again. Anybody in here from Darfur, hit me up. Hit me up. Hit me up. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yaga. He said, "What's up, my nigga?" No, I'm from door 5. Who you? Okay. I'm about to. I was about to say another suspected white supremacist in the building. Come in. Click on the link. Show you black. Click on the link. Come in. Let's chat if you can. Click on the click on that StreamYard link and come in, and I'll let you in. Anyway, them niggas stole me a camera, bro. You saying them niggas stole your camera, huh? Okay. Let's get some. We can get audio then. So niggas can usually tell another nigga by the audio. So let's get the audio then. And it seems like he getting real excited to say the word nigga. That's very unnigga like. But if you say so, Yaga. Like I said, you can click on the link and you don't even need the camera. We can just through your voice audio. We can do it that way. But if not, just sit back and enjoy the show. I still got you as a white supremacist suspect until proven otherwise. All right. Anyway, click like anyway and share this. And then another time I go live, I would love for you to come in. Oi, whoa. The nigga. Who this? Who this? Yaga? The nigga. Who's this?
Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Yep, it's me.
Hello?
Hello?
You a man, you clowning right now.
Hello?
You clowning right now. No doubt, no doubt. No doubt. You know what's funny? We talking about the N word. No doubt, GT. I'm trying to figure out who this Yaga is. If he says another one, then I'm gonna have to kick him out, especially if he didn't show himself. Your mic working now? Your mic working now. Let me see. Hello.
Hello?
Bro, you clowning, dude. That ain't your real voice.
Nah, it's my real voice, but what do you mean?
Where you from? And where you from? This motherfucker want to clown. See, that that's what happens when you go live. Let me see. That's what happens. Come on. There we go. Bro, I'm about to. Hey. I'm gonna have to cut you out. I don't like how you did the title and things like that. I'm at the. There you go. That's it. Anyway, you see, that's what I don't want to have to get into when I go live. But that's what's up. Who's this? Who's this?
Hi,
Um, who's this?
it's GT.
Oh, okay. Hey, GT, what's going on?
Hi, What's this live for?
You can come in and chat and come and say hi. Do you follow me on YouTube?
No.
No. So how in the hell did you end up finding about this live?
I just saw it on YouTube.
You just saw it on YouTube.
Yes.
All right, all right. And where are you calling from?
Friends.
Oh, you're another clown, huh?
No.
Peace. See, bro. Let me tell you. You see, this is why. All right. This is why I don't like to go live. Why isn't this stopping this fool? Man, hold up. You gonna make me yeah. This guy, man. Anyway, I gotta try to see if I can remove. Let's see. See, you get clowns, man. I can't even get into what I really wanted to get into. But it's all good. It's a learning experience. It is a learning experience. You have some white supremacists come in here and want to start hurling the word nigga around. And then you got another person act like they just suddenly saw this live stream that want to come in and out of nowhere don't show their face and the audio is suspect and everything like that. It was probably sitting right alongside the Neanderthal cave beast, Yaga. Anyway, but that ain't gonna stop us though. You get a lot of weirdos and white supremacists, you know what I'm saying, that tries to jump in once they see you go live and stuff like that. Got a lot of trolls out there. So, you know, so it's a good thing sometimes. I can get some of the trolls off my page and my channel if they're a part of it. Um anyhow, yeah. And so, of course I make a lot of them white supremacists mad because of the name, the real Nordic black. They seem not to want a black person to be associated with anything of Nordic or Scandinavian roots or origin, which I'm here. So anyway, oh, did I get another message before I can get into it? Because I want to share my screen. Let me see. I'm just learning this thingy thing. Got. Let's see. Yeah. No. Anyway, so if there's anybody from Kenya out there that would love to chime in on the things that are going on in Darfur, um, how they have armed groups that are committing ethnic cleansing, because we all stuck on this Palestinian Israeli conflict, which we should, but we need to keep on giving light on the atrocities that are going on in the black world, um, whether that's in America, in Europe, and Africa, Caribbean, or whatever. So we still got that going on in Darfur. A lot of armed conflict. Let me see something that I can Yeah, there's a video. Yo, I want y'all to see a video footage. Let me see if I can find it, and then I can let me see. I want to find this footage of, man, what's really going on? What's really going on? Man. We're gonna find this footage of this Chinese dude in Africa. I want y'all to see this. Let me see. I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna share the screen. Footage of an Asian man. And it's far too many times I'm seeing videos of Africans in Africa being beat down by Chinese. But yet you'll see a lot of Africans talking about how us African Americans back in America, all we do is protest and things like that, which is a lie. And so I'm gonna show this. Let's see. Man, I ain't registering on this. Wow. He whipping them, bro. I want y'all to see. I'm go on this right here. I'm gonna share this screen. Damn it. Boom. Hey, what's up, Lake? How you doing? Where are you from? Or where you at? You better not be no troll. Anyway, nice to see your participation. Yeah? Cool. And what country are you from? Boom. Anyway, we about to share the screen. I'm gonna try this for the first time. Smaller country. All right. Let me see. I'm gonna share this screen. They'll also leave from system. Y'all check this out right here. Right here. Breaking news. This disturbing footage of a Chinese employer in Africa treating his employees like transatlantic slaves is going viral across the internet. Viewers have begun discussing on how it appears the Chinese are fair, or I guess he tried to say far more racist than the white man in Africa. The 2nd of May. Damn. Bruh. Now I can tell you one thing. You would not be seeing no shit like that in America with American black people. That I can tell you. Us foundational black Americans, you ain't gonna see no shit like that. And now you see them doing that there in the majority black continent or country. You know what I mean? And so that shit crazy, man. I see far too many of these videos.
Get up. Get up. Get up. Get up.
Madness. Madness. Anyway. I stop. Oh yeah? Anyway, anybody wants to come and join the chat can do that. But you gotta show your face in audio. Lisi, who's that? How you doing? What country are you contacting me from? You just saying these one liners. I feel like you a troll. I feel like both of y'all are troll. Oh, here we go. He said he got. You see, this is why. There we go. There we go. So anyway, if y'all checked out footage, see that's what I'm saying. The detractors, they trying to distract me and detract me from the message for me going live. But that's to be expected. Whenever you speak that truth, the power like I do, unlike a lot of the other black people out here, in general, you're gonna have a lot of detractors. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Today I'm getting that practice. So I'm gonna have you on block out the gate in the beginning. Next time I go streaming. But it's all good. Man, a lot of clout chasers and suspected white supremacists and trolls are out heavy tonight. Um anyway, anytime anybody wants to go live can click on that link, but you gotta show your face and audio. Bro, what is I swear. Now I understand why they have people monitoring this shit. Now I understand why they have monitors. Craziness. Craziness. It's like let me see. Man, I gotta let's see. Come on. Anyway, let me make sure ain't no more madness. Boy, they getting mad out here, yo. They are getting mad out here. Anyway, I might have to hide the You see how crazy they are out here? Delete the comments. Somebody keeps on. They like bots. Man, they out here heavy, yo. Anyway, I'm gonna find a way. The bots are out here heavy. They out here heavy. Anyway, I think I'm gonna end the stream and try again another time. Because you got a lot of trolls out that just wait for live interaction all day to get clout or whatever that they do. And they just keep coming. But anyway, I showed that video of this another footage of a Chinese person whooping up on an African, which is madness. Madness. And yes, that is tame in comparison to the U.S. of what's going on with the whipping and all that. Anyway, I think that was in Kenya. Yeah, it was in Kenya. Another thing in Kenya. So not only the Darfur militant groups, and then that footage I showed you. So what's going on? Man, come on, yo. Come on, yo. Come on. All right. This is more like a test tonight. Let me see. I want to play this one video before I go about Zionism that I found interesting. If I can find it, let's see if I can find a little footage that I found interesting. Let's see. See, trolls, you ain't gonna discourage me. I'm still gonna deliver the message. You feel me? Anyway, don't forget to subscribe and share if you like. I will continue to go live stream on other days. I will try to see if I can do it once a week. I think that's a good start. Once a week and talk about different subjects of what's going on. Let's see. Man. Blah. I wanted you guys to get a whiff of this video if I can find it. I found it interesting. Let's see. Oh man, I gotta go down to the part where he. Let me see if I can hit this up right here. I gotta make sure. I'll be more prepared next time too. Man, I tell you. No. Anyways. See, maybe you guys can hear this or not. There's this clip. Gotta wait till this thing start. I wanted you guys to get a whiff of this. Da-da-da-da-da. I'm gonna play it from YouTube. Oh man, let me see. And before we draw this to a close, I wanted to you guys to hear this breakdown by the guy name of Yanis Varoufakis. He's a documentarian. He has a documentary film called In the Eye of the Storm, the political odyssey of, let me see if I'm saying it correctly. The political odyssey of Yanis Varoufakis, The Eye of the Storm. Anyway, he's discussing the humanitarian crisis in Gaza and the West's complicity in Israel's advance into Palestine. But I wanted you guys to hear his take, which I found very interesting. And this will be the last thing before I cut off the stream. I guess I'll share the screen and I'll try to start and stop and pause as we go. Let's see. Let me share the screen once more. Boom, boom. Okay, here we go. And I want to play some of this. Make sure there's audio up in here. It should be. Yeah. And also, it's a test first.
Before we draw this to a close, I'd like to talk for a few questions, if we may, about the crisis in Gaza that you just mentioned. The situation in Rafah is worsening. More than 1 million people, displaced people there now. The shelling has started. The bombardment has started. How conscious should we be in the West of the decision that came out of The Hague, that there is the potential for a genocide being caused in Gaza at this moment in time?
Very interesting take, y'all.
Current actions, specifically what's happening in Rafah right now, constitute, well, I mean, you did just use the phrase, but I'd like you to expand on it, a genocide.
The genocide started in 1948. It's simply becoming more lethal, more bloodthirsty, less bearable than it ever was. The complicity of the West is mind-numbing and indisputable. Here you have an apartheid state. It is clearly an apartheid state. Anybody who's been to the West Bank knows it's an apartheid state. They've built walls and they've built roads exclusively for the use of the illegal settlers that the local population cannot use. That's apartheid. So you have an apartheid state which has always tried to merge the Zionist ideology, the Zionist narrative, with the facts on the ground. The Zionist narrative from the 1910s was a land without a people for a people without a land. In other words, terra nullius is what the British did in Australia. They said, you know, Captain Cook arrives and declares that Australia to be empty of people. So the Aborigines are not people, so kill them. Right? Genocide. It's the first step. Terra nullius is the first step towards genocide. So that's the Zionist project. A land without a people for a people without a land. Now, of course, there were people there.
Did you hear that?
There were millions of people there.
There were.
So now the IDF is in the process of ensuring that the Zionist allegory, slogan.
Actually, I don't think this is the clip that I wanted you guys to listen to, but this is interesting anyways, nevertheless. But there was another clip where he had the same guy on that I can't find it. I thought it was this one. But anyway, I'm going to let this ride out. And after this clip, I'm going to stop the live stream.
Becomes a fact on the ground. They're getting rid of them. The whole point is to expel them, to kill them, to drive them away. They do not want to kill them all. I mean, they want to kill as many as is necessary to convince the rest to leave. You can see that in the West Bank, because people say to me, but Yanis, how can you possibly support Hamas? I'm not supporting Hamas. Netanyahu supported Hamas. Likud and Netanyahu were in the business of diminishing the authority of the PLO, and they have been for decades supporting Hamas financially, politically, militarily, until they completely destroyed the capacity of the PLO, of the Palestinian Authority, to appeal to the Palestinian people, and only Hamas is left to represent them. And in any case, let's say that we press a button and Hamas disappear. They just disappear. And they're all convinced. They're brainwashed by some wonderful piece of artificial intelligence delivered by drones, to give up, to surrender. What happens in West Bank? Hamas are not there. The ethnic cleansing, the genocide is continuing there. And of course, you can see that they just want the land, not to mention the natural gas deposits, which are off Gaza. So this is what's happening. The West, especially those who claim to care about human rights, we must accept that we have now proven beyond dispute.
And this is nice and brief. I like how he puts it, and simple for the people that don't follow or has gotten tired of hearing about the conflict. He breaks it down pretty well, quite briefly. You can't. So it's hard to do with this conflict. But like I said, there was another clip I wanted you guys to listen to, but this one will suffice. I will continue. This guy right here, as you say, he's an economist, but he has a documentary film out.
That we never cared, as countries, as polities, as establishments, as media, about human rights. We only cared about our human rights and the human rights of our friends, of our bastards, right? If you are not one of us, you don't have human rights. You can be bombed, you're never killed, even.
I believe so, Nordic Nonsense. Hey, Nordic Nonsense, I heard about you in the building. Nordic Nonsense is in the building. I appreciate you, man. I believe so. He said he's an economist, so I would assume that he's the Greek former minister of commerce. I like his takes, actually. I appreciate the comment, Nordic Nonsense. Yeah, I like his insight onto the conflict.
And if we kill you, you die. Whenever they say, hang on, what's happening? They are terrorists, right? So never before has the West's image around the world been so terrible. What is happening is, at once, in the West, public opinion, conventional wisdom is solidifying its support for Israel's genocide, but the rest of the world is becoming more and more disillusioned with the so-called principles or ethical dimension of the Western.
You say that again.
The Western way of thinking.
You mentioned drones there, and I would like to, if we have time, to cover the intersection of sort of techno-feudalism and this conflict. But can we just hone in for a second on sort of the shifting of Israel's stated war aims? Because initially we were told it's the destruction of Hamas, right? Which poses its own questions, because Does that mean the military infrastructure? Does that mean the nurses that are employed
5 more minutes.
ministry, for example? But that was the initial stated aim. And gradually the rhetoric has changed to security control in Gaza. The rhetoric is shifting. And I wonder, first of all, what you believe the actual war aim is for Israel. And secondly, whether you think that aim is achievable.
The original war aim has always been to take over the land from the river to the sea as part of a greater Israel, to expel half of the Palestinians and to keep the other half as bonded slaves. That was the original apartheid idea of the white supremacists, the Boers in South Africa. That's why we call it an apartheid state. That was always the case. Up until the 7th of October, that plan was working magnificently.
Hold on, I'm gonna pause real quick. I'm gonna put this comment. If it's the same guy, he is great. He wrote a great book. Yeah. Nordic Nonsense. Go to the here. Won't you come in here in the chat or whatever. The click on the stream, man. And you can come in. Nordic Nonsense. You can come in. I'll let you come in and you can talk away. Nordic Nonsense. If you hear me. Let me see. Click on the link and I'll let you come in. Nordic Nonsense. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep this thing playing so you can come in and comment on some of his if you're able to. No doubt, no doubt.
Because you and I were not even discussing Palestine, at least not to the extent that we are. Especially public opinion worldwide had accepted that it was over, that Israel had won, that the Palestinians in Gaza were fading. 60% of children before the 7th of October were malnourished. So the embargo was effectively killing them softly, slowly. And it was just a matter of time before, the people living there would want to get out. And the land would be cleared and it would be settlers and so on. While in the West Bank, you had something like 200,000 settlers 10, 15 years ago. Now you have 800, 900,000. So they keep settling. They go straight from Boston or Brooklyn. They go straight to a house of a Palestinian that has been thrown out of his home illegally in occupied land. So that was the aim. On the 7th of October, Hamas's actions shook the military establishment, the intelligence establishment in Israel, because they realized that they had not contained them to the extent that they had hoped they would. But that was a magnificent opportunity for them, essentially to kill lots of Palestinians and to use that setback in their intelligence community as an opportunity for speeding up the process of genocide. That's what it is. And as far as Netanyahu is concerned, his war aim is that the war doesn't end. An endless war, because he knows that the moment it ends, he loses the prime ministership. And you have Biden, Scholz.
You heard that?
Macron, Rishi Sunak supporting this war criminal. Therefore, they are war criminals themselves.
I'm glad you mentioned the international leaders in connection to this, because I wanted to get your thoughts on how realistic international pressure is in possibly bringing about an end to this conflict. Whether that's...
I don't see the international pressure. Where is it?
Well, that's what I'm going to ask you.
Where is it? Mr. Borrell, the ridiculous supposed foreign minister.
I keep going in and out because I'm trying to look to see if my man Nordic Nonsense comes into the studio so I can let him in. If you're wondering why I keep on clicking in and out the video, but I'm letting it go. Nevertheless, when you can hear the audio.
The European Union, the High Commissioner for Foreign Affairs.
Just got a couple more minutes left.
Gave a speech for the first time, which was critical of Israel, and he said that they've gone too far. They've gone too far in Gaza, right? And how can they kill these people? They are sending them the weapons, the bombs that are being dropped on Rafah as we speak. How dare he? How dare you, Mr. Borrell, ask such a question? You are arming the hands that are killing the Palestinians, and you have the audacity to question why is it that they are continuing to do it. You're giving them every reason to be doing it. You know, President Biden came the other day out and said something similar, that they've overdone it. If he orders today that the American army ceases to support through the satellite system, through delivery of armaments, spare parts for their planes, and of course, these gigantic bombs that are being delivered daily to Israel by the American military, the war will end tomorrow.
So, if it was applied, international pressure could bring about an end to this conflict.
Yesterday, would have ended. We are in the West responsible for the maiming and the killing of the children of Gaza today. We are responsible for it.
Say that again.
We are in the West responsible for the maiming and the killing of the children of Gaza today. We are responsible for it.
Man, can I get a siren on that one? I need to get a soundboard. You know what I'm saying? As we develop my live stream, I'm gonna have to get a soundboard on that one. You know what I mean? Anyway, Nordic Nonsense, where you at? But yeah, I guess we will continue. Let's see what else I'm going to, as you see, I had to ban several trolls up in there. If you guys are just now chiming in, or yeah, you see this video later, go to my earliest videos. I had interviewed back to back, as Drake say, back to back. Anyway, I ain't going for Drake. I went for Kendrick. Kendrick won the battle. Anyway, that's a whole nother subject. I'm not going to talk about the Kendrick and the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef tonight. I'm talking about some real issues, because that's what I do. You know, I'm gonna use my platform to talk about some real issues. And Nordic Nonsense. Hey, what's up? Hold up. Let me stop sharing the screen so we can. There we go. Nordic Nonsense in the building. What's up? What's good?
Hi, how you doing, man? I'm great. I just tuned in your stream, and then yeah, if it's the guy I think we were talking about here,
Yeah.
If he's the former Minister of Commerce of Greece, let me Google him really quick because his name is a bit hard.
Yeah, do that.
to
Do
pronounce.
that.
This guy is insane. He wrote like a great book. It's called
Right.
Commerce as Explained to My Little Daughter, or like 8 years old daughter. It's like he was simplifying the economy and how the world is being ruled. And he had actually like a great stand down against the World Bank when it came to the crisis in Greece. And then the latest, actually,
Right.
surprise, he was actually banned from Sweden. Like, he was invited to publicly speak about the conflict in Israel, and he was actually banned. So it was really so much for freedom of speech.
Now that you mention it, I might have heard of him or might have seen a clip from him before, but I just kind of listened to one of his clips not too long ago, and I was like, yo, I like this guy, and yeah. But now that you mentioned it, it seemed like I had some sort of, my subconscious wants to tell me I heard of him before when it came to what you just spoke about. But no, I heard there's some other clip. I was trying to find this other clip of him, how he broke it down, and I couldn't find it. I think I would have to be in Instagram to draw that clip. But while you're here, you have a YouTube channel, don't you, or podcast or something like that?
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
and what
actually,
and what would that What would that be? Are you able to put it
It's
in the comments?
it is actually Nordic Nonsense.
Okay, Nordic
That's I
Nonsense.
can
All
put it
right.
in. Yeah.
Let's see if it
So
pops up
I
because you know.
started actually. Sorry, you're saying.
No, go ahead.
Uh, yeah, no, I said it started like I've been thinking about having a YouTube channel for a while, and then suddenly it happened. I don't know if you recall it when they quote this guy Moxness from the Red Party,
Okay. Okay.
and when he got caught stealing. So I was
Okay.
like, okay, that's it. I cannot shut up anymore. I have to comment about it. And then I started the channel. So it's like almost a year ago. I've been like on and off, like not very much active.
Right.
But
Right. Right.
yeah,
But you
and
going
then
but you gonna get active though. I know you are.
yeah,
Definitely.
I,
You
I
gonna get
talk.
active.
I talk whenever it's there is something to be said, basically,
For
and
sure. For sure.
it is so scary how and sad at the same time how everyone has to be tiptoeing around this conflict in Israel and Palestine because it's so easy to get canceled. Apparently, like social media is canceling everybody. Like you could just post something on Facebook or on the only
That's
platform that it's allowing it is X or like Twitter.
yes. Say that
But
again.
yeah,
What?
and
Everywhere.
it is the reality. And they
That's
have actually admitted that they've been shadow banning channels and profiles. So as soon as you mention a subject that they don't want you to talk about, they would just basically kill your reach. Your posts won't or videos won't reach out to anyone. So this is really sad and so much about the freedom of speech, eh?
right.
Um,
Right. Right. No, I
so
mean I'm trying to because I'm now getting back to being active on my channel. So if you see something weird on the screen, it's me testing out. So you with me on the process as I'm trying
yeah,
to make
where
my
it's at.
comeback because
Yeah.
I haven't been live since let me see. I don't want it on me. I want it on you. Um, I haven't been live since about 8 months ago, man. The last interview I done, and then today, this morning, I did two back-to-back interviews. I'm rusty, um, but I'm gonna get my comeback, and I want to highlight other people that have something to say because I'm kind of an introvert. I say it, and some people that know me they would laugh at when I say that, but I partly am. I think some people are realizing either he it's true that he's you know kind of a hybrid is it got a little introvert tendencies or maybe he's on the spectrum a little bit what I'm saying because some people can when I get comfortable with people I seem to be off the wall and very energetic and things like that but they don't realize how much kind of a introvert I am so I kind of stick to myself in certain ways um but there was something that came to mind when you was talking. No, I encourage you, man, to do your thing, man. And you part of the Nordic Black family now, man. So damn,
I
did I click?
appreciate it.
Did I I gotta see. Okay, there, where the comments come in, and I can see them if they pop up. But anybody that comes into this live, I said I need to do more live stream, because I have the tendency to see even my mind right now because there's something that you had mentioned I want to go to it as well I'm going to remember it but anyhow I'm like I said the last 8 months I've been inactive but I tend to come in and or if I interview somebody or do anything, then I'll just have a break for like it could be a half a year, almost a year. And I'm like, dude, and then I complain about when I see other people making these nonsense videos or just not using their platform, I feel in the right way, right? They're going in
Yeah.
the stores talking about, hey, the difference with a Norwegian apple and an American apple, you know, shit like that, and they getting popular from posting bullshit like that. I'm like, bro, like for real? Or they don't want to shake up the system. And I find that very disturbing, especially when I notice other black people like myself, You know, that there's a reason why I call myself the real Nordic Black, because I consider myself the realest person that's able to go public on YouTube at least. You know what I'm saying? That since I've been here, you know, and then I guess some people thought it was some sort of little gimmick, but then when I, you know, if I go live streaming, people that know me for years, they say no, he's always been that way. And because you got some people post George Floyd, they waited till it was popular to start to speak out with this quote unquote woke culture and all these things. You
Yeah.
know, once they start to see that, oh, white people are accepting this, so I can start to talk more about it. You know, I remember when I started to talk about these things when everybody was attacking me and things like that. When these racist groups, even like Soldiers of Odin, for example, they targeted me at one point in time a little bit in the
Oh
beginnings.
wow.
When I, yeah, a long time ago when I started this YouTube channel when I first got here, because pretty much when I got here out the gate, I was being who I was. You know, I always buck the system if I find something unfair. I don't care if it's in Norway or in America. I did this in America too. If
Yeah.
I was in Africa, I would say the same thing wherever. You know what I'm saying? So that's just kind of how, you know, I was raised, because I had some family members that thought the same thing, whether it's in my family or outside of my family. If they see some sort of injustice or some unfairness, they always speak out. So it was like ingrained in me to be this way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's like it got to do with the culture. It's like in Norway, it's not usual to complain in general,
True that.
and
As we learn, as we learning and we know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
and
speaking,
then
speak.
and then at the same time, when it comes to criticizing, especially the Norway, it's like everybody grows on like, okay, you know what, we are fortunate and we are lucky to have what we have compared to other countries. Norway is one of the
Yep,
richest countries in the world.
yep,
Norway has one of the best system, like education. Norway has one of the best healthcare system. Yada yada yada. To the
yep,
end of the list.
yep, yep.
And when you keep repeating this like story, what happens is that you kind of become blind to any fault in
Mm,
the system, any mistake in the system. Then it becomes totally unusual if somebody just like pokes or points out something that is wrong in Norway. Even like,
absolutely.
and it happened many times. It was really hilarious because I was pointing out many things that I would see, and I was like, I smell corruption there, or like I see there's something wrong in here, or I see something doesn't make sense. As that's why I call the channel Nordic Nonsense. And then people would just
I
react like,
like it. I like the name though. I like the name. Yeah, yeah.
so people would be like, no, no, you're just like being conspiracist, like you're just very, I don't know, like paranoid or something. And then a few days later, it becomes a scandal. And then the NRK, or like NRK, like the Norwegian national TV for the like people who doesn't know it, then they start to announce there was a corruption with that minister, or there was a corruption case with the police, or a corruption case with whatever agency or ministry, and then it becomes normal. So even pointing out corruption or pointing
Mm,
out something that it's wrong, it has to come from the authorities themselves. But if you talk about it like as an individual, then they don't take it, they don't suck it up. But
right.
if the TV actually announce it, then it's something that we can talk about. And this is what I don't like. It's like, or that's why we need more and more, as much as possible, people pointing out things and talking about people issues. We have one way or another. We could talk about like whatever you want to put it, but we have only one single TV, one single channel, or not one,
Mm,
but in general, like one single authority,
yeah, right.
all the media and the news and everything in Norway. We don't have like even the competition. Like in the US, you would have some like CNN, and then you have like Fox News, and then you would have like some channels. It's kind of like, okay, every TV channel have like their own agenda, but at the same,
Right.
at least you have like you could hear
More
different.
variety for sure. For
Exactly,
sure.
you have the variety. Whether like even though like the whole variety could be wrong, or they could
Yeah,
be the same, but at
yeah,
least you
yeah,
have a second
yeah.
voice, something that we
Right.
don't have here in Norway.
And and
and
and
and,
that
and that's why I think like the more of we have of like alternative media like YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, whatever you have like to talk about. Like I've been posting, like I had actually a video like I put out recently. I'm not advertising my channel. I'm just like telling the story.
No,
So yeah,
no, but here, bro. Here you can advertise whatever you want. I ain't like
no,
these other folks,
like,
man.
speaking of which, I had like
Yeah.
I had this channel. It was
Man,
sorry,
you
I
can
had this
plug
video.
in. You can plug in all day. Give your stuff. I'm gonna give
Cheers,
you
man.
the.
I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
that's because we need authentic, real people, man, and that's what I'm saying. So like, yeah, for sure, man. This is the place where you can do that. Just throw all your shit out there, bro.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so what I made, it was this video, like it was called basically racism in Norway, and the reason I made it was based on a fact-finding story that came from the UN. So the UN sent like a bunch of experts, and those experts came visiting Norway on a fact-finding visit,
Okay.
and they came out with like some concerns and saying, okay, we are worried about Norway, we are worried about this, we are worried about that, and on top of the recommendations, it was actually that they saw discrimination towards like people from African descent. Another subject they talked about, it was actually the Barn Varna, and so on and so forth. They came in different forms.
And for Americans that don't know about Barna, that's like our child protective services
Exactly, yeah.
over here in Norway.
Child protection.
Yeah.
And they saw that it was like a different treatment if the family of the children were actually authentic Norwegian or they were from a foreign or immigrant descent or something like that. So when I made this video, I was tackling a subject that I saw that it didn't take a scoop in the media, and it's not like one guy or a group of guys. It's actually the United Nations group of experts that posted. It's just like really something would have big credibility. So at least I expect the Norwegian government to respond to that, or that the media talks about it. But nobody covered it. Totally, absolutely no coverage. So I put it out on my channel just to say, you know what? Hello, something happened. Something big have happened. And the backlash, man, oh my God, the amount of comments I was getting both on YouTube and on TikTok, it was, like, what am I doing here? Like,
because as we know, they don't like their dirty laundry being thrown out into the world
and,
to see,
and a lot of people then say, like, why do you talk in English? Why do you speak in English? And the reason, actually, I made my channel in English, it was first of all like I'm more comfortable in English.
Obviously, more expansion. Yeah.
And also, you know, the main reason, even the most important, like expansion, of course, was a part of it. But the main reason it was when I moved to Norway for the first time, it was extremely hard for me to follow up with the news, to follow up with even sometimes, like even if I wanted to transfer some money from one person, like bank account to another, I needed help from people because even my bank didn't have English language, which is I was shocked. I understand you're proud of your language, but English is kind of ideal in any country, though. You would have it as second language.
Facts.
You know? So I was like, the people, and in Norway has a lot of people that's from Central Europe, like Poland, a lot of immigrants. All those guys are taxpayers. All those guys, they live here. A lot of them has like permanent residency. Some of them have like the Norwegian passport or nationality, and yet they are not on the level of following the news or following what's happening in the country in their own language or in English at least. And that was the main reason. It's like people, taxpayers, deserve to at least, because they get to vote, so they need to know what's happening and who they are voting for. And that was the main reasons why I made my channel in English, and a lot of people are actually pissed off. I think I would have of a backlash if my videos were actually in Norwegian talking about racism or something like that. You know what I mean?
You know, it's funny you mentioned that because anytime they have a person like me and then you and have it in English talking about Norway's conditions or what's going on here, they don't like that stuff because they know it'll travel further, and then they'll try to make it seem like we have no clue what we're talking about. And sometimes we have to remind people that we're actually in it, we're actually here, and then you were you I didn't want to assume, were you raised in when did you move over to Norway, or were you born and raised here, or
I traveled, like I've been traveling a lot, like my whole life I've been traveling. I've been to around 60 plus countries, but my permanent like stay in Norway, it was from I think 2014, so almost 10
Okay.
years. And I'm consistently here, but I was just
Yeah.
coming on visit
Well,
when I was young.
aren't you Egyptian in origin, right? Or something like
My
that?
dad is Egyptian. Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And your mom, she ain't white, is she?
Yeah, she is.
Okay. No, Norwegian?
Yeah, so I'm like
Oh,
a blend. Like,
yeah. No doubt. No
so
doubt.
it is hilarious. It's like
And
people
and
kind
so
of.
you speak fluent Norwegian, I'm sure.
I wouldn't say fluent, but
Okay.
I
Okay.
speak good enough Norwegian. But I
Right.
spend
Right.
like
Right.
majority of the time, like I've been traveling around. Like my parents were working all over the world.
Right.
They
Right.
were for Doctors Without Borders, so we were traveling, moving around like
Got you.
Egypt, Africa, Middle East,
Cool.
Europe, and so
Cool.
on. So
Cool.
yeah, but I can say that I have. Of course, there's some small things I wouldn't relate to since like I
Yeah.
did not grow up fully here. But I
Yeah.
would say
Yeah.
that I can understand the culture, and I consider myself like 100% Norwegian. I don't consider myself as like an
Yeah.
immigrant,
Right.
and
Right.
this
I
is
mean,
really funny. When
I'm a
people
Norwegian.
say, yeah, yeah, sorry.
I'm a Norwegian citizen as well. I'm a dual citizen, American citizen, and also Norwegian citizen. So I can consider myself a Norwegian citizen as well. So there's a bunch of different kinds of I can yell from the rooftops like they do when the people come to America and get their citizenship over there. I'm American. I'm American. What are you talking about? I can be the same. But yeah. No, it's interesting, man. We have a lot of the same views, believe it or not. Probably more so than you think. Um yeah, because when I started out with this channel, I forget what year it was, because I kind of like I said, I started, stopped, took away some videos, then I started to change the concept of how I was gonna do things. But then I was like, you know, I didn't know how to, I'm a bit older, so with the, I'm not getting to the ageism, but like the technical thing ain't really my thing. And
Yeah, yeah,
so, and I try to have everything kind of like low budget. I'm not gonna sit there editing videos and do all those things. So I said, how
yeah.
can I give voice or something like that? There was a character, I don't know if you heard of her, Rachel Dolezal, the
No,
transracial lady.
yeah, no,
Rachel Dolezal. Dolezal. Long time ago, her story came out, and then she came back into the news for a while. It's transracial. When I say
yeah.
transracial, meaning a white woman claiming that she's black, saying, I identify as black, type of thing. You know what I mean? And so
It,
when her story
was
first broke,
she like the German? The
no.
German
Yeah,
lady. Was she
I know what
German?
you. No, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking the German lady that had her
Okay, okay.
skin or yeah. No. This is in America.
Okay.
This is not. It's kind
Oh,
of
okay,
sim,
okay.
but but it's similar though. It is similar,
Yeah,
because it was in America, and she's from like I think Portland or Oregon or something like that, and she actually is a white woman who, in some ways, had colored her hair dark and changed, wore hair extensions, all kinds of stuff, and she had fooled a bunch of black people, so much to the point where she was given uh, a little chapter of being in the NAACP, and
okay.
headed a small little chapter in, of course, one of the whitest states like Oregon, and she was able to fool some people for a certain amount of time, and she's always around black people, of course, and things like that, and always into black, and I guess some of the signs with people that are around, white people would have caught that, because whenever you have somebody posing as black, they always go extra. Just like earlier today, somebody was saying nigga a little too much, and then he tried to, I think it was a troll, try to say, oh, I'm black, and I'm like, you can't be, because you coming out with that. Or she was kind of going extra hard when it came to certain issues, acting extra buffoonish and things like that. Yeah, yeah, we have us foundational Black Americans, as we call, some of us call each ourselves today, and that's a whole nother subject. But foundational Black Americans, as myself, we can usually tell if a person, if we haven't heard them talk or seen their face, and just the way that we hear their behavior has been acting or whatever, that we can tell that person's black or not. And so, a lot of times you see the tendency of people getting kind of extra. I call it buffoonish. They go, you know, when it comes to like civil rights or things like that, they go above them, kind of way out there with their theatrics and things like that, or performative what do they call it, performative activism, especially out here.
Yeah.
You see a lot of Norwegians, especially into the performative activism out here. Oh my, and it doesn't just happen in Norway, but you see it all over the world. It's like it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I know some people, man. It seemed like I never seen any black friends or friends of Middle Eastern descent in their social media, but yet they all out there performing, laying down like babies in Gaza and all kinds of stuff. For the clout and for the recognition for social media and for popularity. I'm sure you noticed that too. A lot of performative activism going on out here, and it
Yeah.
definitely was on a it
Yeah, I
definitely
have
was on a
that.
rise. It definitely was on a rise after that post George Floyd when that happened. But
Yeah,
what's your thoughts on this Eurovision thing, man? I find it. I know it's sad, but I almost laughed at one point in time. I was like, wow. I was like, all this, performative activism and thing. Not everyone, because they're and I'm not saying it's a good cause and things like that. It's definitely a good cause to go out there and protest and things like that. But I'm saying that through all of that, you see Israel still in there, and not only are they in there, they in there
I
strong, and I think if I'm not correct, they like in the lead.
yeah. It's and I
What's
would
your thoughts
like
on that shit?
I would yeah, we are here and it's not done yet, the Eurovision, and I can predict that Israel will
Mm,
win it this
that's
year.
what I.
You saw what happened last year. It was like Ukraine. It's good that we are actually alive and this is recorded, so we could just
You you feel me?
Kevin is like, yeah, we could read into the future. It's not we could read into the future,
You
and
feel
the
me?
hate.
And that's one reason why I thought about it. I said, yo, I'm gonna go live. And I said, all these people on Facebook talking about Eurovision off or whatever. Some of them is watching the damn Eurovision right
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
And I'm proving. It's funny because I don't have the biggest uh claim to kind of be out there, although everybody should, humanity definitely. But and I'm not on there watching the Eurovision. I'm on live talking to the people. But
Yeah.
a
No,
lot of these people.
it's not that I watched it before. I never actually watched it. I find it
Oh
really
yeah, yeah, no,
boring.
no, yeah, yeah,
But,
yeah.
but what I'm saying is like I predicted that Israel will win this. It's exactly like happened last year, and the hypocrisy, the fact. If you remember last year when the heat was about the Russian-Ukrainian conflict, and Russia was not allowed in the Eurovision, and then of course Ukraine had to win it because they have to support Ukraine and so on. And I think that the fact that it's like
Isn't that crazy? Yeah,
Israel
yeah.
is
I'm glad you
allowed
pointed that out. Yeah,
the fact that Israel is allowed to compete,
that
it's
that
double
that,
standards.
that tells you
It's
something. That is
yeah,
crazy. I'm glad that you pointed that out. They had boycotted last year or whatever Russia from being in it,
yeah.
and
Russia was not allowed in the
they weren't
conflict, right?
allowed in the Eurovision Eurosong contest. And now they had a lot more protests going on for the Palestinians here, but yet the powers that be and the people that claim that they're pro-Palestinian, you know, I don't know how they got in, and not only that,
Yeah, and
a
I
lot,
don't
a lot of
understand like, how Israel is there in first place. Like, what?
right,
It's not
right,
even.
right.
And if Israel is like in there, why Palestine is not? Since basically it's the same. You know what I mean? Like,
Real,
it's just
real talk.
you can
When
point out 1,000 like hypocritic uh indicators in that. Like
real talk. Global white supremacy is alive and well and real. When I first came to Norway, I remember first time I've seen Eurovision contest. That was the first thought. I thought I was like, why is Israel in this contest? out of all these with all these European countries. That was the first thought that came to mind. But then it made sense, um, in in the grand scheme of things, it made sense. But it's totally not fair. And I'm glad you just pointed that out. It's like how they can not allow Russia to come in, but then they letting Israel be in the contest. And not only that, the votes, because in order for them to go further, you gotta, is about the votes and stuff like that. So who's really telling the truth of what's really going on? Because it kind of reminds me of the Donald Trump kind of election. It kind of gives me little echoes and little memories of that being an American when you looked at the world. Oh, they couldn't have got this guy in, the office. And everybody even speaking out, the so-called liberals posting away about how bad Donald Trump is and his politics and how awful of a person he is, but yet he end up in the White House. And then later on, in retrospect, more and more facts that came out, and you have different people. I'm even going to say this, like you even have, especially a lot of white women on there talking about how patriarchal it is and all these things. But then you find out the facts that about 40% of women voted for his ass to come in, even the ones that you know that had doubts of him during
Yeah.
the time and all these talks. So like I said, at the same time now, at the you can be at the bars and pubs and hear people talking about pro-Palestine and all these things, but when you go to the ballot box and to the polls, that'll tell you what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm not shocked at this shit at Eurovision, and in one way I'm glad people are seeing this shit, and so I'm not shocked. So people, and so the Eurovision for my, and I'm repeating, I'm being repetitive for the audience or whoever may come in later to see this video, because most of my people, I believe, are Americans that are watching it. So some of the context they may not understand. So the Eurovision contest is neighboring country Sweden in Malmo, and anyway, they turned up over there as far as I can see on the Vega, on the internet news or whatever. But I mean, I'm not shocked by this, man. You know what I mean? Like, I think the only way they're gonna stop that shit if somebody physically kind of got in the building and did some damage. But it seemed like for some reason, man, it's just making them more popular. I don't, it's like doing the opposite. In my estimation, in some
I
weird, in
wouldn't
some,
say
I'm
that.
talking about
It's
the
like
Israel, putting it's almost in some weird way, in some weird strange way, it seemed like it's giving more kind of popularity towards Israel, and I started to as of recent, start to see more empathy for Israel in some way, and you start to notice people of a certain persuasion start to speak for Israel and acting like the world or people are going overboard for Palestine and things like that. But I don't know, man. It's a
I
conflict that
would
I
say, of course, like empathy. Of
yeah
course you have always many narratives to the same story,
yeah
and empathy is normally based on what is the most popular narrative, and what narrative that is being supported by PR. There is somebody behind it talking about like trying to convince the public with a certain point of view. So
right
that would be the main, or I would say the biggest narrative that is out there. Well, you could see, of course, that the media in the West have been taking side already.
mm.
And it's not like making them popular. The thing is, unfortunately, the people now, like unfortunately for them, the people now have it's not, we're not back in the radio time, or where we had like the analog TV with few
Right.
channels. We can see only
Good
one
point.
narrative, and majority of
Good
people
point.
doesn't have like the people now, the only usage for TV for majority of people is to watch on demand, to just watch Netflix or YouTube, or for example HBO, whatever the platform they're using. So at the moment, majority of people, they get their news from
Right.
total sources, and that's
Right.
what they are losing on, because uh, yeah, you could say whatever you want to say on the TV, but yet people spend more time on their TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube than
Facts.
Pakistan. Or
They have
so
a book. They have a book called Sharm Slavid or Sharm Slavid. You know,
yeah,
basically
it's green
screen.
slave.
Yeah. Right.
So
For sure.
and there is the real fight is, and you could see that normally what I do, because also social media is playing like a really dirty game. I'm like bubbling us. I'm talking about everyone in general, everyone,
Yep.
including YouTube, including
Facts.
including everybody. And what you do is you see, okay, your opinions is like you don't like Trump and you are pro-Palestine, and then they're gonna show you all the posts from the same world that you're in. So you keep or like feeling like getting this post is basically agreeing with your own opinions. Facebook, YouTube doesn't want to trigger you by showing you something that you disagree with. You want you to spend more time feeling more home, so they're gonna post out or show you as much as possible of what you are like. On the other hand, yeah, if you're against or if you're pro Trump and anti and pro Israel, then they're gonna show you total different uh, kind of type of posts. So what I do normally is that I get like I use a VPN and I have an account with like some incognito access, and then see what's they gonna see me on a certain subject. What they gonna show me on a certain subject, and
Right.
you will be surprised because then they show you the neutral stuff, because the algorithm's trying to figure out which guy is this, which post he's gonna click on, which video he's gonna watch, to
Right.
sort you out, and then start to be okay. This is your list of recommendation. So when you log in and then start to search, and you will be surprised of how actually people been, especially in this conflict, because of course you could lie about something, you could change a narrative, you could tell something about like a certain conflict, but
Right.
you can hide or sweep under the carpet 30 to 40,000 martyrs. Half of them are children and women. Even like the best PRs cannot advocate for this. And so Israel, like I think the biggest loss that Israel have lost in this whole conflict, and the West in general, people started to be like, okay, no, we are not. You see what's happening in the US. You see what's happening in universities. Where's the freedom of speech? Where people is like the whole West is like, okay, we have double standards. If you see how people dealt, or how the governments, because they came back to back, how the governments, the Western government, have been dealing with the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, and compare it to how they are dealing now with Israel Palestine. It's absolutely like double standards, and this is so exposed that I think not only Israel that it will lose on this. I'm talking about repetition and how they are being perceived from the Western world or in the world in general, but also even the West themselves. You see here in Norway, people. I don't know if you're living in Oslo.
Yep,
or
I am.
You live in Oslo.
Yep.
Like, Norway, I've never seen such huge protests before.
You know,
but at the same time, the government actions is not. It's not representing the people at all. Thousands, huge numbers of protesters every Saturday, and sometimes twice as well. You have a sit-in in front of Stortinget, or like the what do you call it? Our White House.
yeah. Or Parliament or something like that.
Parliament or Congress. And then at the same time, you see that the government totally like we're tweeting in a whole different parallel universe, and so I think this conflict is kind of like smacking the whole world in their face, and martyrs. And what happened in that conflict is that people started to be like, yeah, our governments are not representing us, and
right.
We're not like our will is not being reflected, and I think the world before this Israel-Palestine conflict is not going to be the same. You see, something have changed when Corona came and passed, and I think something definitely will change when we are over.
Good insight for sure. I agree with that. That's a good insight. Something definitely has changed after the Corona time period. Yo, I have a video that's about 10 minutes. I don't know how much time you got this evening or whatever, but it's a 10-minute video. Have you heard of the guy? Uh, uh if you have time, you could. I can share my screen and we can pause and stop. And I would like your intake on kind of an outside looking in on some of these things. You heard of the guy?
And I will watch it, and then maybe we
Huh?
can like chat about it afterwards if I'm
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'm gonna be
yeah,
here with
yeah. But have you heard of the dude? I know you heard of AnnCoulter, the
yeah.
racist, this self-proclaimed, racist white woman, far right leanings, and Vivek Rums. I can't even pronounce his name. He's Indian descent in the politics. I think at one point, I think is he still run? No, at one point he was running for president. It's the guy that's Indian of, I believe, Indian origin, and I forget which state. But he's far right leanings, and he had AnnCoulter on his. A lot of people in America are talking about this because he seems like an idiot, because he seems like a proxy, because they always have that person that has a different background of origin, and once that person starts to talk, you know, on the so-called quote unquote conservative right leanings, they like to prop that person up. It just like being somebody that has a foreign background here in Norway, and they represent the Fremskritts party or whatever, or yeah, even further than that, right? Than that, they will prop them up because of the fact that they're a proxy to use them to start to bash and disrespect and you know uh people of other people that have foreign backgrounds or whatever agenda they're trying to do, and they like that, they let that go and they prop them up. That goes around, that goes on almost everywhere. But this guy in particular, have you heard of Vivek?
Have I heard of?
His name is Vivek, this
No.
politician. No, okay. Well, anyway, I'll play the clip.
Yeah,
um
yeah.
and you get a little sense of that. So this is the one of the talks that are going on. Let me go to share screen right now. Let me see. Oh, Charmin. Also, I get to practice on sharing the screen as I'm warming this thing back up. Here we go. The screen is shared. Let me see. But our faces are still on the side, as you know already.
Yeah.
Now, let me see. Boom. But it's like a 10-minute clip. This guy Vivek, he's Indian descent, but he's so conservative and have all the far right Republican talking points and stuff. Definitely I would consider him a lot of white supremacist ideologies, which is weird as shit because his background. But he has his own show, and this news report is, I'll let it do the talking, and man, let's play this.
Conservative commentator AnnCoulter appeared on Vivek Ramaswamy's podcast this week. During that conversation, she made a stunning admission that she would not vote for Vivek, despite largely agreeing with him because he is Indian.
And homeboy was cool with that.
Some thoughtful perspectives on the future direction of our
Hold on.
I think has some thoughtful perspectives on the future direction of our country, of our conservative movement, and on this question of nationalism and national identity. Somebody I've been fascinated by for a long time and have interacted with on social media, but for the first time we're having at least a live form conversation in the offline sense of it. It's AnnCoulter. So Ann, thanks for coming on, and I'm looking forward to our conversation today.
Me too. Thanks for having me. That was a fantastic opening monologue. I too am a fan of yours. So I'm going to make a point of disagreeing with you so that it will be fun. You are so
Listen to this shit that she about to spew out of her motherfucking mouth.
bright and articulate, and I guess I can call you articulate since you're not an American black. Can't say that about them. That's derogatory.
Wow. You see how she is, my brother? She said he called him he's articulate, and then because you can't call a black person articulate, or you'll get some flack, especially, of course, coming from you and culture.
So bright and articulate, and I guess I can call you articulate since you're not an American black. Can't say that about them. That's derogatory. And that was a great opening segment. Lots of things to talk about there. Oh, and I agreed with many things you said during. In fact, probably more than most other candidates when you were running for president. But I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian. We'll get back to that.
Kan jeg gjøre endringer i bestillingen? Ja, det enkelt. Jeg kan endre bestillingen.
Boom.
Vivek responded on X, writing, quote, AnnCoulter told me flat out to my face that she couldn't vote for me because you're an Indian, even though she agreed with me more than most other candidates. I disagree with her, but respect she had the guts to speak her mind. It was a riveting hour.
Many took issue with Vivek's. Journalist Zed Jelani wrote on X, quote, okay, what level of simp is Vivek on here that he's like, well, she absolutely hates me for my ethnicity, but I really respect her. Journalist and CEO of Zato News wrote, quote, you respect that she was openly and crudely racist to your face? Sheesh, the things that brown folks will do to be accepted by the white supremacy wing of the GOP. That was Mehdi Hassan. And co-founder of Based Politics, Brad Palumbo, wrote, so AnnCoulter is just racist and you don't even stand up for yourself in the face of blatant racism? Yeah, this was a tough one to try to parse, although I do think I kind of understand it. In this kind of alternative independent media landscape of which we are a part, admitting to being offended by someone being racist, even if they are blatantly and explicitly so, has been characterized as being sensitive or a snowflake, and your kind of merit in this space is all about how much you can withstand. Now, the irony of that is that it's people who are the subjects of racism that are being asked to do all the withstanding among a bunch of, white male predominant members of this community that do all of the offending. And it's just your job to sit there and say, oh, I don't notice someone's being racist. If I say the word racist,
I'm not going to let the whole clip go through, but
they better be able to prove it because there's
you got the gist of it.
The Ku Klux Klan person standing nearby. Yeah. Otherwise, you lose credibility in the space. And this seems to be the end point of where all that leads. Vivek sitting across from someone saying, I like you, but I will not vote for you because of your ethnicity. And him saying, yes, I respect that she had the guts to say a racism out loud.
Yeah, I listened to a little bit more of that interview, and she then was saying, the reason she gave is that she thinks that immigrants from other parts of the world, including India, are hostile to American values, constitutional values, including the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, free speech, and gun rights. But that's what I was going to get to. The problem with that being that Vivek is not even an immigrant. He was born in America. So if you're saying that you think, and again, she's admitting that she mostly agrees with him, so then she can't say that, well, I would fear you would be against my values on free speech and other things because you were brought into this country.
Anyway, we get the gist of that. Hold on. Oh yeah. It's all good. Hold on, I'm gonna stop the share screen. Did you hear any of it?
Yeah, I heard it all. I was watching the stream on my cell phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No,
it's remind me of this is actually not only in the US. It happens in here as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They say, as the French, they say, royaliste de la rue, like more like when somebody is more royal than the king. And it happens a lot that you see here in Norway. Like it's so funny when you see somebody from immigrant background that anti-immigration or anti-foreigners, or it's and it's sad. And at the same time, this game has been being played everywhere in the world. Normally, you will find it in every extremist party or group, that you will have one or two black guys or brown guys, like brown washing, like they do, FRP here.
Yeah, we sometimes tend to call them coons out there back home. But go ahead, go ahead. Yeah,
So
always eat.
you would have like I remember a friend of mine. He's an Egyptian activist, and he
Yeah.
moved to Norway on like as in an asylum background for his political activism in Egypt. And then that guy, when he moved to Norway, he joined. He was actually like a member of the FRP, the well known for or the delirious, infamous for their hatred to foreigners and immigrants and so on. And they had him on their lists because, of course, they get voters. Like, imagine you go like a person of color like me, myself, or like you, when if I come in Oslo and say to like, especially on the east side, hey guys, I'm from Egypt and I'm rolling for I'm joining the elections for FRP, then they will gain definitely voters, and
Right.
so they will always have this guy, but then in reality, as you saw in the video, they wouldn't.
Right. Sometimes I used to always tell people, I like my racism straight with no chaser. Sometimes.
That's why I like a guy like Trump.
Yeah.
Like, you could
Yeah.
disagree as much as you want with Trump, but
Right.
at least the
Right.
guy is honest and he's
Right.
not,
Right.
double faced.
Right. Right.
You know where you have him. You expect his views without him. Like, if we bring any subject to the table, you know what Trump would have said about it.
Right.
If you know what I
Right.
mean.
Right.
And this is also, for example, like countries like Central Europe. Of course, this is generalizing, and generalizing is wrong, but they are well known or stereotyped as straightforward racism, like Poland or Czech Republic and those countries. And when I was there, I liked them better than the type of racist people that we have here in Norway, for example. And that's because there you go, like, okay, they are racist. They don't like me for whatever, my looks, my color, my curly hair, whatever. So I'll stay away from them. We cannot be friends, and we have a barrier between us based on their bias. So I will not apply for a job in their company. I will not go to sit around in a bar that belongs to their crowd. I will go and try to get involved with them, but it's so easy and straightforward. Of course, it's sad, but at least it's straightforward. While here, you will have like this indirect racism. It's like, I will not call you names or point fingers at you, but I will not hire you for a job. Or yeah.
Right. And that's one of those things. So I follow this older gentleman, this older guy. He's in his 90s, I believe. I listened to him, named Neely Fuller Jr. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but anyway, he talks about in racism, but in a practical way on how to deal with racists. So he doesn't go in so much the theory or in history so much behind that. He goes into the practicalities on how to deal with them and things like that. And he talks a lot about code words and that a lot of racists, as you know, use. And like I said, a lot of people, you can call it what you want, you know, but you are practicing racism. A lot of people get caught up on words so much, and it takes action. You know what I'm saying? It's not just word. Yes, words can hurt and have a lot of meaning and things like that, but it's not only that, but it's especially when it comes to racism. I always say it's the practice behind it. Like, you can say whatever, but if you have, like, I always say my concept of racism, how sometimes I say, when some people say, "Oh, black person, you're racist," or whatever, and I say, black person can't really so much be racist. Now, we can be discriminate in my take, in my understanding, that we can be discriminate, we can be prejudiced and things like that. But far as you know, and you probably heard, we really don't have the system, the
It's
behind.
systematic.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
cannot be systematic racist. Like you cannot. Yeah.
Right. And
You cannot
so
reject people for jobs.
the
You cannot.
structural, institutional,
Yeah.
yeah, right. And so I'm not gonna stop you and your families and all those people from getting a job. It'll just be individual, anecdotal, me and you. But outside of that, what can I really do? And then you could probably get me removed. There's very easy to get me removed anyway. So, you know, damn, what was my point? I was getting to. See, I'm getting older, bro. I'm 46, about to go on 47 in July, man. You know what I mean? So I'm creeping on there. I guess I need to stop talking about my age, then I won't age
Maybe what age?
so
I
fast.
stopped counting when I reached 25, and I'm good.
Right. No,
No,
but
but
no. The racism on how to do with it practically about the words, the names. You can call it what you want, but I always give this. Well, I don't think I want to give that example now because it deals with certain employers and things like that. So I'm gonna leave that alone. But yeah, when it comes to that, a lot of it has to do with the practice on they have different practices when you deal with racism, gentrification. I'm sure you heard of gentrification. They have it here. Uh, Stop and frisk. When the police are more, yeah, and they have their own version of it here or everywhere, pretty much in the world. But with marked
it
against
was actually
marginalized people.
it was in the UN report that people of African descent tend to be stopped more often by the police than white
Bingo,
people. That was in the
bingo.
report.
That's
Yeah.
a fact. That's a fact. You seen that shit during speaking of Ukrainian conflict. You seen that shit when the Africans were getting they were trying to stop them from leaving or certain countries
Yeah.
try to not accept them in their countries and things like that. But yeah, the European brand, the Eastern European brand of racism seems to be a little bit more overt than the so-called Western Europe,
Yeah.
and it doesn't necessarily mean that they're better out here. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so when it comes,
definitely. I
so
like if you were to ask me, I would rather to deal with the center, like Eastern European
right,
style of racism than like
right,
what the West has. And it's like
right,
I remember like one of the funny stories I had here in Norway. It was one of I work with IT and
right,
well, I applied for a job that was kind of below my level.
right,
That was by Telenor, in the famous
right,
telecommunication company.
right,
If you want. And when I applied for that job, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm definitely getting called in for an interview because with a country like Norway, with 5 million people in population, it's not so often that I'll find huge like competition here.
right,
As an operation, like I worked as like an operation manager in telecommunication for huge companies like Vodafone, like in Europe and in Africa, and I was not even called for an interview.
right. Wow.
You get, like the email of like, yeah, sorry, good luck. We had many candidates, and so I was offended. I was not offended that I didn't get the job, but I was offended that at least I should have got interviewed at least because
Right,
you cannot have 20 people of this skill on that size with that
right.
CV you have. So I wrote him back. I'm like, yo, so may I ask you like what's like I'm actually offended that I didn't get interviewed. Why haven't I got told in at least? Yeah,
Right.
because the person and who's the person got like who's the person who got the job? Like can you tell me about his qualifications in order for
Exactly.
me to qualify myself?
Right.
And then the answer was like, well, literally in plain words, like, well, he is Norwegian. I'm like, well, I am Norwegian
Damn.
too, but being a Norwegian, it's not a qualification. It's not something you can study for or
You know.
become.
Right.
And Yeah, but being in a region means that he knows like the culture better. I'm
Man.
like, yeah, in a job, especially in IT, we speak numbers. It's
especially exactly right. Especially in IT, it's like
it's not that I'm gonna work like as a social worker, or I applied to work in like what do you call it, the Nordic authentic restaurant, or
right.
or it's an axe throwing contest,
Right.
So yeah, so you get this. I mean, it was actually many reports, researches, and it is scientific. Like it is proven that if you have a foreign last name,
Yep.
it's much harder for you to get a job than having a Norwegian one. And
Facts.
I tried it myself, like sending 2 CVs, one with a Norwegian last name and one with my other last name, and to see the difference. And I don't know, maybe just a coincidence, but it's always my Norwegian CV that gets called in, unfortunately.
Hey, that's
So yeah.
facts. That's facts. No doubt.
So
No doubt.
so we definitely have this systematic.
Right.
I would call it.
No,
I
it's
wouldn't
funny
call
that
it injustice. It's like institutional racism, I'd say.
right, and it's nice that you mentioned that. Yeah, about you rather take somebody that is more overt and that tells it how it is. And that's why in politics now, with this new kind of movement or what's going on, because us black people have been in it for so long, and now you're getting a new wave of people that are into politics or whatever, and they're more now keen to like, hey, especially in America, I'm talking about specifically, uh, like, hey, what are you gonna do for my vote? You know what I mean? Like now we're more like, it's about the tangibles.
Yeah.
Where can you do? It's about the policy, not so much the person. So now I don't really. When people even ask me over here, "Hey, aren't you gonna vote? Hey, don't you think Donald Trump is crazy?" I'm like, I'm not one of those. Real talk. I'm not one of those Negroes that you can just come to me in my face and say, "Hey, aren't you?" I'm like, because I look on the data. The data showed that y'all had already, took his
Yeah.
ass in. So I'm sorry, I'm not all over your Facebook posts and doubling down with you when it comes down to Donald Trump and all these other things, because I know that at some point somebody fooled us. You know what I'm saying? So they took him in, and then not only that, is whatever outwardly he's presenting himself. What are the policies? What has he done specifically that improve black people's lives, or the vice versa compared to other candidates?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, whereas you'll have other candidates sounding all beautiful, Barack Obama included, sounding all beautiful and other things in their speech and what they'll do and all these things. But then when the rubber hits the road, you find out that they've been doing things for other groups of people rather than the people that got him to get in the office. You know what I'm saying? That it had a huge voting block for him and to get his word out there. Especially black people. You heard the videos. I mean, I even cried, man. I ain't gonna lie. I teared up when he got in office. Never thought I'd see the day. Well, I figured I would see the day, but god damn it, I thought I was gonna be older than that I am now to see the day that they would have had a black person in the office, in America. But yet, you know, the certain things, certain promises wasn't maintained and done. Although, yeah, he was an eloquent speaker and respected a little bit more internationally in some sort of way. But when it comes down to it, you know, the some policies and certain things, and there's other people that can analyze him in a situation far better than me, saying that actually a lot of his policies hasn't really helped out black people as much as you think. But so it's down to me. Is more down to what can you, for me personally, what can you do for black people or more marginalized people of color? What do you have in mind? What do you have, in plan? And then it's like, and how long are you going to take once you get into office? I mean, it's all about the policy tangibles, we call it. You know what I'm saying? What tangibles? What can you really do? do for us. You know what I mean? And like reparations, that's a big talk in America. Reparations. You heard the word before? Reparations. It's basically okay. Simply put, it is the payback to the descendants of slaves.
Oh yeah,
Which is
yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't hear.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that's everywhere in the world where the colonies of France took over the U.S. or U.K. and the people that are products of slavery, descendants of slave, like myself. I'm an African American, and so I'm a descendant of a slave, and so now is talk about reparations or on a lot of conversations on they believe that the government, the US government, UK government, the Denmark, Norwegian government, whoever partook in slavery should have a sense of whether it's money or in the form of free education or some sort of incentives for them to try to get a leg up because as you know and we know, especially if you study institutional racism, a lot of these people that are rich, they had inheritances and things like that, and some of them, some of these banks, it can be traced to a lot of wealthy people that, in some sort of way, partook in slavery,
Yeah.
and things like that, and so this is a way to help equity. It's all about equity. You know what I'm saying? And so what's your take on reparations? Do you believe that? And I'm probably beating a dead horse. I'm probably sure that you already know the answer to that. But your take on reparations, on governments like say America, your thought on it, or
Yeah.
Norway or whatever, people that are descendants of slavery
Yeah,
down
I
the
mean
line.
Norway already also has their struggle with Sami
Absolutely.
people, with
Yeah,
they
that
call them
too.
they call them Fink, Finsk, like the from Finnish
Yeah.
descent. The thing is, of course, like the game have changed totally. First of all, like this is on the first part before I commentate on the reparation. The game have changed. Like politicians today, for example, they have to watch out each and every word they would say,
You
each
know?
and every act, each and every gesture they would do, because now everyone has their own cell phone with a really good camera that is really surprisingly good, and they could
Right,
catch
right,
any. Even like if you put your hand in your back pocket, pull out a napkin, you would definitely see it, or
right,
somebody would
right,
already TikTok it or Snapchat it, and this is being all uploaded to the internet with kind of like infinite memory.
right, right.
So it's so easy nowadays. I feel sorry for politicians because it's so easy to go back, way back. Like you see YouTube, I could go back and see what your opinions on a certain subject 9 years ago, if you had a chance, 9 years ago.
Ye-
And
Yeah.
so the first thing is like how we mentor and watch politicians
Yeah.
today, or like since I would say since the Arab Spring, this when the whole social media took kind of like really big role in politics, and
True.
then the last elections, sorry, the Trump
Right.
first.
I even remember. I even remember when the one girl in Iran. Remember
Mhm.
too. That thing. I forgot her name. Started with the N, I believe. I remember it
Yeah,
went viral, and so these social. Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah. So basically, like social media now, or like basically, I would say the digital memory. It's kind of like
Yeah.
is a big player in of how we judge, as you said, like Barack Obama was a really great speaker and the great
Mm.
charisma, but like what did he do? And so easy
Mm.
to see what he says and compare it to what we expected and so on and so forth. So this is
Right.
number one on
Right.
how we evaluate our politicians nowadays compared to 20 years ago or 15 years ago. On
Right.
reparation, of course, like it's as you said, the whole point of it, I would say, or like the ideal way to look at it is the people doesn't have righteous or the right of compensation just because their grandfather was a slave or died in the Holocaust or a country been invaded and so on. I think the main point of this, or the main focus, should be actually.
But I want to pause because but I want to pause there because a lot of the Jews that were former Holocaust survivors, I mean, Holocaust survivors, they got a lot of them got reparations.
Sure, I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Takes me to the next point of it. Like I was like, I have like a motorbike, so I ride sometimes, like in Oslo, and I love to take a really long ride, and it's so disturbing to see as you ascend or descend from the east to the west, and you could see like even on the actual buildings how it looks like. This is a neighborhood of rich ass motherfuckers.
Real talk, man.
Or like scumbags, and you could see it like all the spectrum from immigrants, whites, black, what do you call it, family of like workers and so on, and then other guys who are actually inheritant, as you said,
like blue collar workers.
10 million dollars house from grandpa that became to 20 billion, and then this is the start. Like this is how you start your life. You kick in your life with like 2 million
exactly.
USD.
And you have on everything, and you have the deposit money to get a house. You got you're able to get loans and all kinds. Yeah, for sure.
But then that takes me to the whole point of it. As you said, the whole point of
reparations
is like
compensation,
have equity, and I think if they start to talk about compensation, then like, oh, so why shall we compensate you? Then it becomes like a lawsuit. Then it becomes like, what do you call it, like insurance case. That like, oh, now prove to me that you are like a
direct descent. Right, correct. Good point.
So I think if the whole
let me read the. I want you to continue. Let me read the quick definition of reparation for anybody that's going to come in here, and it's important. This definition is not just money, like I'm just giving handouts or paying. It's reparation is the action of making amends. The action of making amends for a wrong one has done by providing payment or other assistance to those who have been wronged. All right. Like, for example, the compensation for war damage paid by a defeated state, which the Treaty of Versailles imposed heavy reparations and restrictions on Germany, for example, and other things. It's especially about the atrocity of transatlantic slave trade. But go ahead. So that's what reparations meaning and what that's about.
So what I'm trying to say is like every single one we know and we realize there is something wrong. Something is definitely not right.
Right.
Like to have somebody that they could work for years and years and they cannot afford to buy a house and have like I was actually making, this is a video I was making. It's within the shooting and I was talking to one guy that works with us, and he was talking about that he feels that like, oh, I feel awful. I should have studied more. I should have done masters. I should have done more. I should have I don't know, saved. Then he started to judge himself for his economical or financial situation right now in Norway. And I'm like, I mean, he's Norwegian, like he's like authentic Norwegian from the working class family. Like from working class family, he didn't inherit anything, and he just like on his own. And then I'm like, well, actually, I don't think it's your fault at all. And what you're competing with, it's impossible to compete with. Like you're talking about like food prices raising by 25% in the last 2 years. Salaries are not,
right.
Like whether you are a multi-billionaire that your money is doubling, tripling all the time, or there is no competition. But if you're working 9 to 5, even if you're the smartest guy in the world, have done your share of master's degrees, PhDs, you will be thinking twice when you walk into the supermarket to buy grocery. And so people start to point fingers at themselves instead of like pointing finger at the actual evil. And that's the thing. Like it is about equity, it is about equality. And if we start to be like, you don't need a reason to say like, you have to be from a slave descent or African descent to kind of like to kind of be to kind of have like equal chances into society, to kind of be able to buy a house and a car without like getting in a lifetime loans, to send your schools to like respect good education, and this is like not only for black, like for anybody, and the fact that like if we rely only on reparation, then we gotta start opening a lawsuit, and it will not end tomorrow, if you know what I mean. Like everybody will be like, yeah, but what have you done to my grandpa in Vietnam, and so on and so forth. So what we need,
but I wanna pause just for a second there. I hear a lot what you're saying, but on that last part, you'll get a little pushback from people of African descent because for the most part, I agree with everything you said. Just that little last part, that I do agree that at some point it would probably have lawsuits flying and going everywhere, but at the same time, um, they had already paid reparations, like especially in America and other places, to other groups. And what, like, you know, Chinese, the Japanese, and that was in internment camps, and you know the Jews that were part descendant from Holocaust survivors, Native Americans in America, and things like that. I'm not saying that they paid them all in full what they're fully supposed to get, but they had some form of reparations, and we're still waiting for our 40 acres and a mule. We're still waiting for our reparations. And things as such. And so it's like, if you can give money, look at Ukraine, all the billions and shit. You got reparations on the table. You know all this. It seems like you can produce money to pay, you know, to give to Ukraine during this period, and things like that. There's other things. Matter of fact, that reminds me of another subject that's going on in America, in particular about immigration, because there's no other place in the world. And I want you to hear this, Nordic Nonsense. No other place on the planet in existence that I remember, especially in modern times, when it comes to immigration, like we do it in America. They saying there's about 1 million a month coming in, bro. Almost, if my numbers are correct. You know, from the southern border, of course, but they ain't just coming from the southern border. You got some coming as far as the Middle East and other countries coming through the channel of the southern border. But they said, man, the immigration is so bad there, bro. Back home, it always been that way, but I mean, now you don't see any other country having other immigrants and illegal, so-called illegal immigrants coming into the country in the numbers that they are. And you got some black people talking about, just like the city Chicago, where there's a lot of, it's kind of crime ridden and things like that. And you have, you know, I'm sure you heard a discussion where they're housing, and I'm not anti-immigrant per se to a certain point, especially when it comes specifically to American politics in kind of majority black, well, there has a sizable amount of black people, like Baltimore, uh, Chicago, and things like that, has a sizable amount of black, Detroit, places like that, Atlanta, you know, whereas when there's so many immigrants, but then they're allowing them to, uh, you know, kind of roam freely in certain things, like in certain funds, or dispersed their way, and things like that, all along. You know, that's a conversation. All along, you have black people that have been there, that are, you know, hasn't
like
received
with
any assistance. So that's a big conversation now. And at first, I used to always kind of be on the side of course, humanity. You know, immigration allowing, as long as they had legitimate reasons to. I always used to always be on that side, and I'm more so on their side here. But in particular in America, you know, it seemed to be kind of more changing. My views as time, you know, it evolves. Even my
but
go ahead. Go ahead.
that's the thing. Like in my head, like U.S., Canada, Australia, New Zealand. It is basically a country based on immigration. Like the owners, or like not the owners, like the Aborigines of the land is like the natives, and everybody is basically an immigrant. And then,
Facts.
but let me carry on, because then it comes the main point. So it's always comes to, it's like, who has the final word? Because if you say, oh, don't come, or like, oh, it's too many immigrants now. Yeah, but you're an immigrant too. Maybe I can go in and you go out. Of course, you're second generation or third generation, so you feel like, okay, no, I'm American. But at the same time, everybody's an immigrant. But then it comes to a really good argument that you're dropping. It's like, maybe it's affecting the crime rates. Maybe it's dropping down the life standards for those cities. Maybe it's becoming too much crowded and so on. And this is the main rule. Like, this is not for individuals to decide. This is what the government need to think about and do. So, for example, imagine if basically tomorrow the U.S. government like drops a rule, or like, yo, if you this and that, a certain states, those immigrants will have
And this
kind of like,
this is water, by the way. This is not facts. Go ahead.
I'm drinking energy drinks. Sometimes also I'll drink a beer. I don't
Yeah,
care.
no. Hey, if I drink a beer or wine, I will tell you. But although I use a rag, it's because of the dishes. I ain't got no automatic dishwasher, my brother.
I see,
So
I see.
sometimes I
Here we go.
utilize this plastic cup for water as well. Go ahead.
So it's like basically, if they put out, like, if they make any a motivation for those people to spread around, like, same. It's good that actually we're talking, because the U.S., Norway is really influenced a lot by the U.S. and the U.S. politics and so on. And you could see here, for example, you have some neighborhoods in the east of Oslo, like,
to this day. To this day. No.
Yeah. So basically, you have like all those like neighborhood with a really bad reputation on the east side of Oslo, like Furuset, blah blah blah, like what do you call it?
Yeah.
Mangalore, the places that you hear about, like sometimes.
Homlia, Stovner,
Yes.
yeah.
Exactly. And those areas, when you look at them, it's like, and I went there, been around, walked around the streets, and you just see like poor youngsters that basically have nothing to do. You don't even have like sport. You don't have like any activity to do.
You hit on a sore subject, a good subject that you brought up that we can segue into. Awesome.
And then you have like what do you call it? Their families will not afford to move to another neighborhood, because here they make the rent like cheaper, or it's like you can afford an apartment in these areas, or in here you could find blah blah blah. And then when you go to sitting down in Stovner or something, and then you're basically
are you saying that there's poverty in Norway? What?
Yeah, absolutely. Go and look at them, and look at their houses, and look at their cars. But so they are basically creating a ghetto. And of course, when you create a ghetto, then you'll have crime rates, then you'll have this, then you'll have that. You have not facilitated them with any recreational opportunities. You have not facilitated them with equal chances. So of course, it's gonna get worse and worse, and it's gonna be more and more crowded, because okay, you enter Oslo, you don't have a chance to live in Frogner, or a chance to live in Centrum. One of like I was living in Tøyen when I first moved to Norway, and I owned my apartment, first apartment I owned, it was at Tøyen. And they had this project of Tøyen Loft, which is basically making Tøyen great again. And
Lord, oh God, okay.
So they started building around the underground station. They started to build like some recreational centers, and they started to build like a couple of bars, couple of restaurants, and then it became like much better neighborhood. You know what happened then? All the poor people from Somali background, from Syrian background, like because it was a lot of like immigrants and refugees living in the neighborhood. All of them sold their houses because they earned like a couple of millions up on it over 2 years or 3 years, and the prices went up. They could not afford living there anymore, so they all moved out.
Right.
And then it became like a hipster rich neighborhood.
Gentrification, my brother.
So
I know you heard the term gentrification.
for the people. Like, yeah, now it's nice, but you cannot afford living here
Nope.
anymore.
That was by design, my brother.
You
I
know,
don't
so
want to
it's,
I don't want to come off with a tinfoil kufi because you
no.
know I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it was all by
Yeah, so,
design, my brother.
so that's the thing. Like, if if you have a lot of like you say, if you have like a crowded area, like for example, you get all these houses that they build for like the people that doesn't have money, you know, like social support, social the people that living on living like on money from the government and so on. All those houses they are being built in a poor neighborhoods.
Right.
Why don't you build one in a rich neighborhood? And then it's gonna be like a mix and a blend. But you don't want that. So they're gonna put like when you start to put like drug addicts with immigrants and like people from like ex-criminals, you're creating a bump. You're creating a ghetto. Simple as that.
Right.
If you
For
start to
sure.
say like, oh, you can't get a good job like on the other side of with an affordable accommodation on another side of the town or another side or on the rich side or in a different state when we're talking about the US, spread them around, then there will never be a problem. They're gonna be actually productive people. Crime rates is gonna go down, and you won't have like these problems anymore. So it is up to the government if they want to make a problem of immigrants or not. That's in the hands of the government, definitely. I would say
No doubt.
because I've never seen a guy that is like got like an opportunity to get a job or a guy that got an opportunity to live in a nice house and then he decided like no I'm gonna go get a gun and go shiggy shiggy bang bang and no I don't want to have a good food and a good house I want to be a gangster. I never met a guy like that or a
You
girl
feel me?
you know
Point that a great point that you added. It's always the backstory. You know, it's the conditions.
yeah
You know,
absolutely
that creates this thing right now. Like you pointed out earlier. Oh, while you was talking, by the way, I put it my or this right here on my Facebook. I just now posted. I should have did it earlier.
yeah
I posted this on Facebook, so hopefully somebody can come trickle in. If they do, also in America, uh, they you know it's kind of their time to be up late at night, and so maybe they'll come trickle in. So I don't know how long we'll go live. Already been on for 3 hours myself, but
yeah I think
you know,
that's good when we're done
yeah. But
but
it's been
we
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
have to
Yeah, no matter what, you know, no matter what, I'll tell you this that anytime you notice that I'm on live stream and or anytime you got something you want to say, get off your chest, you can always because I think this is how I'm gonna kind of do the live stream. You know what I'm saying? Just put the link
nice
on the side. Put the link on the side. If I have some subjects that's going on I want to talk about, I'll do that. Or if I want to review a video, whatever, and whoever wants to come in, you know, can come in and chime in, you know, and say
that
whatever,
would be
promote.
amazing.
Yeah,
Like I love the community. Basically, that's the
yeah.
whole point. Yeah, that would be
Facts.
that's a
Fa-
great concept. I'd say.
yeah, that's facts because that's the whole reason why I was disillusioned with people around here, man. Because a lot of them are a lot of phony and fakes. Let's keep it 1,000, man.
Yeah,
There's a lot of phone. Hold up, man. This is what I'm gonna put myself. Uh, there's a lot of phony and fakes out there, man. Real talk. You know, and y'all know it. Uh, you know, so it's that's the whole reason why I started this the real Nordic Black because I'm keeping it real, you know, and I put Nordic Black together to see if I can get some attention from some of these white supremacists, so-called white supremacists or whatever, to see if they want to come and test me or whatever. No, and also some of the people of color that are living in Norway, especially the kids, the children, the youth, man. Whenever I post or talk about or interview people that gives a different perspective, whether it's a historian or Egyptologist or civil rights activist or whatever, some of these people, maybe a young person in middle school or high school, tune in and say, "Yo, I never heard of this person." They led me to believe I had no history, because you know how it is in Norway. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Yeah. They'll let you know about their history and their influence on whatever they had on the world, or their little run that little run that they had.
I will,
You
yeah.
you know, and
I'll mention this as the last story. Like
right.
when it was one of the things that triggered me because I never heard anyone saying it before I moved to here permanently. And
Right.
um, when you're here in Norway, fresh, I would say, people start to use this phrase that always got on my nerves, which is like they say to you, "Har i Norge, vi gjør sånn and sånn." Here in Norway, you know,
Right.
we eat when we are hungry. It's like, or
You
like,
know,
we go through, but they always top it up. Like the first, like they started with like "Har i Norge" or "Here in Norway, we do this,"
right.
and I'm like, well, isn't this the norm? Like all over the world? Like why you have to mention here in
You know
Norway? You don't
that
say this, you know, like even if you say if you guys like your group of people do something like different or you have a
that's
different
very
culture,
nationalistic. Yeah.
yeah, you would say something like, you know, we do this, or you know, here we eat that, you know. But
Right. Right.
but they always mention like the phrase would always like hot in Oregon. I always laughed at it. Like whenever somebody said it to me, I was like,
Right.
well, or well, this is like actually the whole Scandinavia, because especially like when it comes to culture,
Mm.
I would say, of course, Scandinavia had its own unique culture, or like kind of like color, or like I would say, you could point out that you're in Scandinavia, but how the people act or
Mm.
have like their own culture and so on. But you cannot say I don't remember of much of things that I cannot point out 10 things that is different from between Norway and Sweden, or 10 things that Norwegian do and the Danish and the Swedish they don't do. You know, they are very
Right.
similar
Right.
to each other. So
Absolutely.
so yeah, you can be of course like unique as the Nordics, but you cannot be like very unique as Norway compared to other like
Right.
Scandinavian we can talk
Right.
about.
Right.
No, that
And
was absolutely like I just want to thank you because I will have to head off soon.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
was
For
really
sure. For sure.
the
We
kids
both
were
gonna we both gonna head off soon, man. Because I've been on
yeah
here for a while or whatever. But I
yeah
encourage anybody, if they're listening or watching now, remember to click like, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. Go to Nordic Nonsense, plug that in YouTube. Go to his YouTube channel. You have a YouTube channel, correct?
yeah. It's what I was
Yeah,
gonna
go
say.
to his YouTube channel, man, and give some love. Subscribe to his stuff. Look at his stuff, like his stuff, because he's gonna have some stuff coming through as well. I also found out when I stream here, you're able to like sometime like I think especially in the future if when I get more hang of this, then I got it to where I enable it for like if you're on and we're talking like now and we go on for an hour or so, you can actually live stream it to your YouTube channel at the same time too, because we're
I
both.
can do like
Yeah,
double.
yeah. You're
Yeah,
more
like so I
technical
was,
than me, so you know. Yeah, yeah. Uh,
yeah.
and so I ain't teaching nobody, man. But but yeah, Nordic Nonsense. Is there anything? Because this is the first time, so next time you come on, they're already gonna kind of know who you are, how you are, and things like that. But is there anything right now that you're kind of like working on, possibly that
I'm
you would
working
want?
like constantly right now. I have three. The last video I said I made it was talking about. So I talk in general about like tips and tricks about living in Norway, and I talk about like the Norwegian politics.
Okay.
That's one
Is
of
it what platform are you mainly using? TikTok,
YouTube
uh,
and TikTok, both of them. Like YouTube,
YouTube.
because
Okay.
I make like the long form videos. I put it
Yeah.
on YouTube, and then like normally like the shorter form videos, I put it on TikTok or like quotes or like some like I think this uh, our talk today it was very fruitful, and I like the brainstorming. I got like many
That's
ideas in my head.
that's what's
But
up.
right
That's
now
what's up.
I'm actually sitting editing three videos. But you
And we
know,
can
it's
remember we can all we can always collaborate on it because I'm not so much on the TikTok in the TikTok world. So
yeah,
my because I do the long form.
long form. Yeah,
I'm old school. Facebook and YouTube, but I see how the world is going and how
I
people are
can
TikTok and different things like that. But like I said, whenever you decide to have like a live conversation or something like that,
you can definitely do that.
I can be with you to host some of that TikTok so I can get some of them TikTok folks. But I have to give some. I
I
gotta
don't
get
know.
some.
Actually, I never went live on TikTok. I just put basically what I normally do. I just like shoot my video, edit it,
Okay.
and put it on YouTube, and
Okay.
then take that long form of a video, and then put
And
like
chop it
short
up a bit.
shorts as like parts of like you could do from this stream. I think many points you could take it and put it out on TikTok.
Facts.
But
Facts.
create a TikTok, man, and add me out because there we could actually chat like private like PMs. Then we could maybe exchange contacts or something. That would be definitely good. And
for sure.
we can catch up on your next or like on another
Live stream. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do live. I'm saying it now. I'm gonna try to do live stream once a week. At the very least, once every 2 weeks. But I think I'm gonna try to do live once a week. I'm gonna try to commit to that unless I really got something going on. So it could be one day, and most likely it would be the weekend because I don't have to get up so early in the morning, and it's not, and I should be able to maintain and sustain that. Be it that
You
I'm
can do it in the
I'm kind
podcast
of a
as well because you have the podcast like YouTube podcast, which is video podcast. I don't know why they call it that.
Okay.
But it is like YouTube's trying to push that hard as well, so that I think would be definitely a good idea as well.
Okay,
good.
That.
But
man.
we keep we keep you up to date, man.
Definitely. All right, my bro. All right, peace out. All right, I got him out of there. I'm about to close shop, about to close it up myself. I'm about to end this stream. We went over 3 hours. Yeah. I appreciate you guys that keep on tapping in with me, in and out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. I'm gonna try to do live stream once a week. So today, I think I didn't tapped out. I went live 3 times today. I knew this was. I had a feeling this was gonna happen. I didn't, and all this wasn't planned. For the people who think that I had planned all this, especially this live stream. Definitely this part I didn't plan, but the 2 interviews were planned, but this live stream wasn't planned. Albeit that it's the weekend, and I'm kind of an introvert. I'm not out there. I'm a little too old to be out there in the streets like that. So I'm like, I might as well tap in with the people that follow me or whatnot, or who I can collaborate with, that I think that need a voice that needs to be heard. So it's instead of me being out there in the streets, I'm already home. So I might as well tap in with the real Nordic Black family, see what you guys are dealing with, and things like that. Anyway, I'm about to end this. It's been over 3 hours. I didn't think it was gonna be this long, but it's all good. I think 3 hours will be my maximum in the future. But I'll try to be more prepared. But then again, that's what I love about my YouTube channel. I try to keep it real and authentic. Anyhow, I'm gonna try to keep the trolls out of my chat. I'm learning that there's a whole bunch of trolls in here. So yeah, and we'll get better with this live stream. So I will have more interviews coming along the way. So you guys just stay tuned. We're gonna be a little bit more busier, more active, slowly but surely. And yeah, keep the faith. So peace out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and everything. The Real Nordic Black, and we out.